And welcome to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. JC Meyerhold, Zane Garcia here from Tom McIntyre Stadium, home of the Melbourne Bulldogs. An interesting matchup we have on our hand. It's a tale of really two stories. Melbourne comes into this one 5-2, this being their homecoming game. East River, the visitors, coming in at 1-5. JC, this one it wasn't really circled on the schedule as this is a game that you got to do, but with the county being sweltered with rain and the turf field that the Bulldogs present, this is the game that we're going to be doing tonight.
Yeah, except for being at Holy Trinity last week. I've been at Merritt Island every week this year for Space Coast Daily, and evidently it was more of a transportation issue than the field getting flooded at Merritt Island, and also at Cocoa, because Cocoa's not playing tonight either. But I'll tell you, this field there at Melbourne High is immaculate. It drains really well, so if there are going to be any flooding problems, at least here, we knew you'd probably get the game in. So, Melbourne is 5-2. They're having a good year, and it's a good 5-2 record because we've been talking 18-10 loss to Osceola. And I can't remember the score of the Merritt Island game, but it was fairly close.
Yeah.
And Merritt Island's a very good club. So their two losses, there's no shame.
Not at all.
They played pretty well. So they're 5-2. And then on the other side, you got East River. Don't know much about them except they're from Bithlo, which is near UCF, which is where I graduated from. But they're 1-5. So, maybe they're a little bit better than 1-5. We'll find out tonight.
Well, Melbourne, their game against Merritt Island, I know you were on the call for that one.
Yep.
They were leading in that game 14-0 early. They jumped out in that game and really put themselves in a position to make that a fourth quarter game and potentially even win that game. But the story of the year has really been the Mustangs' offense. Their offense has been number one in the county, and if you let Kevin Verpail, Deshaun Thomas, and those guys get rolling, they're hard to stop. But overall, the Bulldogs offense, they have some weapons themselves, led by Mr. C.J. Hall on offense. He's going to be the commander of that offense at quarterback.
Well, you got the Hall brothers, E.J. and C.J. So E.J.'s the wide receiver, C.J.'s the quarterback. So they know each other in their sleep because they're brothers. And I'd love to be at the dinner table during the week of the Halls and talking about the game because, they know where each other is. So interesting dynamic between those two. And then you got Kamari and Johnson, pretty good running back. So maybe they don't have the skill talent that Merritt Island has, but they've got some good skill players. And,
they do.
We'll see how things go as the co-captains are meeting in midfield.
I believe if you're a Bulldog fan or you're a student or anything, you've got to see the excitement around this program, considering that there's only 3 games left in the season, and with a winnable game tonight, you're really on track to finish 8-2. They have one more, I would say, competitive game. They still have to play Vieira. Vieira's had a pretty strong season themselves.
Right,
but other than the Vieira game, they have Palm Beach Gardens, which that's a very winnable game as well. You got to look at this season and say, wow, an 8-2 season from a season that we had a year ago where they did make the playoffs, but they didn't finish how they would like to. So you got to be impressed if you're a Bulldog faithful. And really tonight, it being the homecoming game, they're looking to put on a show. So excited for this one. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily.
Let me give the co-captains while they're out there. So for Melbourne, number 1, James Nollmeyer. Number 11, Ty Field. Number 25 is Danny Negron. And 33 is Tyler Gagan.
Yeah, Tyler Gagan's going to be the anchor for that defense.
Yep.
He's actually one of the top tacklers in the state of Florida. Doesn't matter what classification you look at. He's number 1 in the classification. I believe the Bulldogs are in the 6A classification. I could be wrong on that.
Sometimes it changes year to year with
it does.
I don't keep track of it very well, honestly.
It fluctuates year by year.
I mean, Melbourne's a pretty big high school. A lot of students.
But Tyler Gagan averaging right around 10 tackles a night.
Wow.
And you talk about a linebacker being able to slow down a run game and really stop any momentum an offense is gaining. It's going to be led by Tyler Gagan. So the Bulldogs will run out right as the East River Falcons have ran out tonight. Bulldogs wearing their all white, the Falcons wearing their all red. I don't know about you, JC, but when it comes to uniforms, I like a solidary color. I like it when it's a solid white or a solid red, so I like the uniforms tonight.
I'm trying to remember if there are any college teams that wear red. I can't think of any offhand. So that's kind of a unique color.
Definitely is.
Yeah. I believe East River won the toss and they elected to receive. We'll clarify that here in a minute. You know, usually you like to go on defense first, you defer, but I thought I heard that East River is going to go on offense, so we'll keep an eye on that.
That'll be interesting, just for the simple fact that the Bulldogs defense, as we just mentioned, Tyler Gagan, they've been pretty stellar. I mean, we mentioned Osceola. They came in here and only put up 18 points.
Yeah.
And that's been a high-powered team year in and year out. And to only put up 18 points on a Melbourne Bulldogs defense, that to me, that's stellar defense.
I'm sure Coach Panucci wasn't too dismayed losing that game because it sounds like Melbourne played pretty well, but Osceola was a little bit better. So Jeff Panucci in his first year, he's been on the staff since about 2010. But he finally is the head coach. It took him a lot of years. East River's head coach is Cam Phillips. So, East River won the toss. They've elected to receive. So left to right goes Melbourne, white uniforms, and road red for East River. So Zane Garcia, I just met you personally for the first time. Great to be with you.
Yes, sir.
You got the play-by-play.
Well, we have the Bulldogs set to kick off. It looks like it's actually 33 Tyler Gagan kicking off, too. So he's the starting linebacker, and he's going to kick it off. That is impressive. And here we go. It's going to be a deep kick and will be a touchback. So the ball will go out to the 20-yard line for the East River Falcons. Now, we mentioned this team is 1-5, but they've played a really daunting schedule. Now, you look at some of the teams that they've played, you could just look at Max Preps and go through that list of rankings of the teams that they've played. They've played the likes of Lake Brantley's and such over in Orlando, and everybody knows Central Florida is loaded with talent. So you could look at the 1-5 schedule, but week in and week out, the East River Falcons are going to give their best fight. So
Aiden Edgecombe is evidently the quarterback, and he's a lefty. Got to watch those lefties, you know.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're having a little
delay here. Yeah.
Pre-snap delay. Looks like they needed to reset that play clock. Edgecombe is in the shotgun. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle. And not really much room to run. That was number 1, Jermaine Washington on the carry. Now you saw right there, JC, is they wanted to establish that run game early, but the middle, there was no room to run.
Yeah. Now good coverage there by Melbourne, yeah.
So second down, and it looks like they actually marked them for a loss of a yard.
Second and 11, yeah.
So they'll do this second down, pistol formation. It's going to be another handoff right up the middle. Washington is about to get, probably I would say, back to the line of scrimmage, but not much room to run. And for most teams, I would say not just high school level, high school, college, professional level, you do want to establish your run game unless, you know, you're just an air raid offense. But you want to establish that run game and make the defense commit to the run and then be able to throw over the top of their head. Right there, the stout defense of Bulldogs is showing that if you're going to run on us, you're probably going to have to break it outside. 3rd and 10, shotgun formation. Edgecombe takes the snap. It's going to be a screen, but Edgecombe has to roll out. He's going to throw it, and it is nearly intercepted. Was that Gagan that came over? No, it was not. That was number 32.
PA announcer said pass complete. Was it incomplete?
It was incomplete.
It was incomplete, yeah. The officials are huddling.
That was actually nearly intercepted.
Yeah, the players kind of blocked our view. We didn't get a good view of it, but flag on the play. Okay, our first flag of the night. It
is going to be an ineligible receiver downfield for East River, so that'll move them back 5 yards. I believe Panucci would decline this and just make it 4th and 10, JC.
Yeah. You know, East River does something that's rarely done, at least in the games I've done this year. They actually huddle. Now, some people, if they run the no huddle, they stand at the line for 10 seconds.
Yep.
So it's kind of a no huddle. But look at it, they're actually huddling again. I mean, old-time football, when in the old days, when you always used to huddle.
That is rare. I mean, nowadays you see a lot of the no huddles. And
I mean, Merritt Island never huddles.
No, it's a lot of no huddles.
Pails right up to the line all the time.
Absolutely. So the penalty was accepted. That'll move East River back and make it 3rd and 15. It's going to be a play action. Edgecombe steps back. He's going to go incomplete. Intended receiver was number 10, Wyatt Johnson. And right there, JC, it looked like Edgecombe kind of hurried the pass a little bit. He actually had some time to set and throw, and it looked like he rushed it a little.
Well, it looked like he might have been throwing to a spot, and maybe Johnson didn't read the pattern right, because it looked like he was throwing to a spot, and Johnson was supposed to come toward the sideline. He didn't do it. So 4th down, punting situation for East River.
10:23 left in this first quarter. It is a 3-and-out for the East River offense to start this game. So Melbourne they have 2 guys back there for Melbourne.
Yeah, Rogers and Jefferson. Rogers 2, Jefferson 20.
Absolutely.
Tyrese Jefferson, very talented.
It's a bad snap and barely gets the punt off, but it's not going to be too good of a punt. It went up and down, and honestly, it looked like that could have been a roughing the punter because there is a flag on the play.
Could be. That was about a 17-yard punt, so...
Yeah, the punter is down for East River.
Oh, gee.
And absolutely, it is a roughing the punter, and that's going to be an automatic first down. You look at their down in situation. They had a 4th and 15, and a mental mistake like that is going to automatically give you a first down. That's tough.
I'm trying to remember what's worse. There's running into the kicker and roughing the kicker. It sounds like roughing is the more extreme.
Roughing is the more extreme.
Yeah, okay.
Running into the kicker, from my understanding, is more of kind of like an accident. While roughing the kicker is like, I'm trying to go knock your head off if I have the opportunity.
And what do you think that one was?
That was absolutely roughing.
Roughing, oh.
Yeah, geez. I mean, East River kicker is up on his feet.
Oh, good. We're glad about that. Geez.
But you could tell he got hit pretty hard, so.
So, again, Melbourne's offense includes the Hall brothers. CJ's the quarterback, EJ the wide receiver, Camarion Johnson, one of the running backs, along with Tyrese Jefferson. So, again, good skill people for Melbourne, but actually, you're right. East River's going to keep the ball here. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be an automatic first down for East River, which is kind of difficult if you're Melbourne, because you don't want to give any longer possessions for this East River offense. Great stop, 3-and-out on that first drive, but a play like that will give an automatic first down to the Falcons. So Edgecombe back in the shotgun. He takes the snap, and it's going to be a handoff. Ball will go outside. There's a little bit of room to run right there. That's number 2, Cameron Hancock for the Falcons. He's able to pick up about 4 yards. So one thing that I just mentioned, JC, is you're not going to be able to run up the middle on the Bulldogs, but an outside counter like that is probably going to be your best bet.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works. So defensive ends are Silas Walters and Darius Corbett for the Bulldogs. Nose tackle is MJ Small. So they're supposed to go with like a 3-man line, but it looks like they're 4 linemen. Well, I guess it's 3 linemen. Okay.
2nd down and 5. That's another handoff. And slips a tackle, and that's going to be Hancock again. He's going to pick up about 9 right there, and that's going to be a first down. JC, I don't want to say that I should be the coach, but I said you run it outside, you're going to have some more success. And what have they done? 2 runs in a row, and that leads to a first down.
Well, Von East River, I keep doing that until Melbourne can prove that they can stop it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So the run there by Hancock goes for about 9, and that'll be a first down for East River. That's going to be the first down that they have picked up in this game, other than the roughing the punter just moments ago. trips at the bottom of your screen. It's going to be a handoff once again. Outside run. Hancock takes it for another 9 or 10-yard run. My goodness. That outside handoff, if you have guys that have speed, then, and especially guys that are not power backs, then why do you run it up the middle? You know? You take it outside, you let your guys pick up as much as they can.
Well, you know, being a Jet fan and they're 0-5, I'm still depressed, but they got Breece Hall, who's really good and speedy. He's only about 4 feet tall, I think. So yeah, I mean, these speed guys, there's going to be a penalty here on East River.
Yeah, that's going to be a holding call. We'll push them back, and that'll make it 1st and 20. They'll have to do this all over again.
Yeah. Let's see, linebackers. You mentioned Tyler Kagan. He's one of the linebackers. Danny Negron is another one. So 1st down and very long.
1st and 20 for the Falcons. It looks like we're going to have a timeout, East River. Coach wants to talk it over, make sure they get the same play call, because you can imagine now if the Falcons have ran it outside 2-3 times in a row, then I would imagine if I'm a coach for the Bulldogs, you're going to keen in on that type of play. So probably see a different formation here on the offensive side for the Falcons. But once again, thank you all. If you are just tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily, J.C. Meyerholtz, Zane Garcia from Tom McIntyre Stadium, home of the Melbourne Bulldogs. This is homecoming night for the Melbourne Bulldogs as they host East River. 9:17 left in the first quarter. We just saw the first down, I would say technical first down by East River, but now they're backed up 10 yards.
Yeah. Oh, festive atmosphere. We got the Mel High Band over to the left. They'll be performing at halftime. And, yeah, again, homecoming king and queen will be announced. We'll try and get that info.
Absolutely. So East River will set up 1st down and 20. Pistol formation. Edgecombe takes a snap. It's going to be a bootleg, and he's going to go deep. And it is nearly picked off, but there is going to be a pass interference. The pass was intended for number 19, Waylon Velez. And I believe that's easily a pass interference. It is.
You know, it was terribly underthrown, so, I mean, East River's getting a break here.
They are.
Pass would not. I don't think the pass would have been completed anyway. It was underthrown by about 5 yards at least.
So give East River their 3rd first down of this drive. Only one of the first downs was actually on a legal play. Both of them were penalties. A roughing the punter and a pass interference right there gives an automatic first down for the East River Falcons. So they'll do it again. 1st down and 5 now for East River. Three receivers at the bottom of your screen. Edgecombe in the shotgun. He'll take the snap and try to do it himself. He goes right, has nowhere to run. And that's going to be about a loss of 3 as the pursuit right there by the Melbourne defense, they saw the outside run coming, and that's one of those things I just mentioned, JC. If you do it multiple times, then I would imagine that the defense is going to keen in on it.
I think Edgecombe's got a little bit of Michael Vick in him. Good, and he's left-handed. Good scrambling ability, so he looks like he's exciting to watch.
Ticking down, we're at the 9-minute mark of this first quarter. East River has the ball at the 44-yard line. 2nd down and about 9. Snap, handoff right up the middle, and that's going to go nowhere. Swarm of Bulldogs try to rip the ball out, but they're going to say the runner got to the line of scrimmage. But not much more than that at all. And really, if you're East River, you got to, once you go to the sideline after this drive, you got to think, hey, we're not going to be able to run it up the middle at all. So we're going to have to devise some different run plays to be a little bit more successful.
You know, MJ Small, number 99, is anything but small. He was in on one of the guys in on the tackle. Big play here to keep the drive alive. 3rd down and about 9.
Three receivers at the bottom of your screen. Snap goes to Edgecombe. He's going to step up. Makes one man miss and then is dragged down. That was number 5 on the tackle for the Melbourne Bulldogs. That is Kamari Jennings on the tackle, and that'll make it 4th down and about 7. They're going to have to punt this one, and you want a better punt for East River that you had on the first drive.
And hopefully the punter's okay. He kind of walked off in the field on his own power. So
absolutely.
Let's see, are they going for this? I don't see the punter dropping back. This is a little bit of a gamble. You're in your own territory. So fourth down and about 7.
I guess East River looks at it as we're kind of in no man's land. Let's do it. And Edgecombe's going to roll out. He's got a man, and it is dropped. Wow, he actually had his man intended for Jermaine Washington, his running back. Honestly, that was a good-looking play.
That should have been caught.
It should have been caught, and if Jermaine Washington catches that, he's got a lot of room to run. So pass is incomplete, and with 7:13 left in this first quarter, the Bulldogs will take over on offense for their first offensive possession of the game.
You know, it seems like it should be the end of the first quarter. We've had so many stoppages with penalties. You know, there's still 7:13 on the clock. We're not even 5 minutes in. I feel like we've been out here for a couple of hours.
So CJ Hall in offense will take over. Snap goes right to the middle of the field. That's number 1.
Nolmare
on the reception.
So gain of 14, 1st down for the Bulldogs. So first play from scrimmage, they get a 1st down.
And I think that's what you're going to see the Bulldogs want to establish early, is being able to throw the ball and gain some yards just short term, not anything hitters yet. There's going to be another. It's going to be another 1st down.
Nolmare again.
Nolmare with a gain of 11.
So 2 plays, 2 1st downs. Not a bad start for the Bulldogs.
2 plays, 2 1st downs, and now the Bulldogs are into the Mike Erdman red zone at about the 20-yard line.
So CJ has not thrown to EJ yet. EJ is probably wondering, hey, can I get some passes from my brother? We'll see what happens here.
1st and 10 from the 20. CJ takes the snap. He's going to roll out, and he's going to go to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. That's number 11. That is Ty Field on the reception, and that will be the first score of the game. JC, I don't know exactly when they took over. I believe it was, we said 7:13. We have 6:28.
Didn't take it very long to score, did it?
My goodness, a 45-second drive. Yeah. 3 plays, they get all the way down the field. And the point after coming, but a quick touchdown for Melbourne. The extra point is up and good.
And that was Luis Martinez on the extra point.
7-0 early for the Melbourne Bulldogs. You couldn't ask for a better start other than some little minor mistakes that the defense made, roughing into the punter and a pass interference call that gave East River some 1st downs. But other than that, JC, you can't ask for a better start offensively.
Yeah, so Hall throws to Nolmeyer for the first 2 1st downs, and then he hooks up with Field. So they get some good skill players here for Melbourne. They got some good options.
Definitely, and one thing that I mentioned ahead of this game was with 3 games left on the schedule, this being one of the 3, you have Palm Beach Gardens, which will be another winnable game. You have Vera. Vera is probably the last, I would say, real competitive game that Melbourne has left. An opportunity for the Bulldogs to finish this season 8-2. That'll be a great momentum going into the postseason.
Here's Martinez in the kickoff.
Kickoff goes deep, and we are going to have a return this time by East River. Breaking down the sideline.
Oh, there's a flag.
Yeah, we're going to have some laundry on the field.
So I was going to say that was about a 34-yard return. He took it at the 1, brought it to the 35, but with a flag, it looks like, I'm guessing this will be on East River.
Waiting for the call from the officials now. And yes, it is going to be a hold on the Falcons return group. So that'll move them back. But not a bad start off of that return for East River. Let's see how this second possession will turn out.
I'll tell you, we got a beautiful night for a ball game, don't we? I'm glad we're in October.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
September was just too hot for me, so we're outside here in the stands, and nice breeze.
Yeah, great conditions for a football game. Storming all day long.
And hopefully no longer tonight.
It's been a fabulous night for some Friday night football.
Glad we got the rain out of the way, hopefully.
Yep.
Again, Cocoa and Merritt Island not playing tonight due to some flooding issues.
So offense will take over once again, second drive for the Falcons. Man in motion, handoff will go up the middle. And I honestly, I think that's going to be a face mask.
Probably.
It looks like the ball carrier, it looked like his helmet got ripped around. I could be wrong, but
you are correct.
Yeah, that was a face mask. Man. I saw it from where we were at.
We're pretty far away, too.
We are a distance away, but when you see someone's face mask get ripped and turned around, it's
pretty obvious.
Yep, it is obvious. So face mask, that's going to be an automatic first down once again.
This is a penalty-infested first quarter.
It has been, and it's mainly been on the Melbourne side. And I mean, to Melbourne's credit, they're playing an offense that really hasn't gained any momentum or any traction yet. But you can't give multiple opportunities to an offense that is trying to work on getting traction, and that's what they've done so far. So see if they can fix some of those disciplinary penalties. Man in motion. That's going to be a false start, or I'm not 100% sure what the refs are going to say right there. It looked like movement on both sides of the ball.
I thought MJ Small jumped early for Melbourne, but maybe it was drawn off. Let's see.
False start.
Drawn off. Wow. Okay.
And so far, JC, I am 2 for 2 on the calls tonight.
Okay. Well, I hope we can keep it up.
I'm going to try so. And actually, if I continue this bid, then I might as well just go ahead and be a referee.
Jace Richardson, number 22, checks it defensively for Melbourne. Well, again, East River has proven they can move the ball, but they've been shot in the foot by penalties. They went forward on fourth down from midfield, didn't make it. But it looks like they've got some potential to move the ball down the field.
They do. And honestly, it's just those little plays. The rollout Edgecombe had on fourth down, the drop by Washington. If you can capitalize on those plays, then that's how you start to gain some traction, gain some momentum, and kind of believe like, hey, we can hang around. Offense backed up. It'll be 1st and 9. Man in motion. It's going to be a keeper by Edgecombe. He goes around the corner. He's going to pick up about 4. So Jaden Edgecombe tries to do it himself. He'll pick up about 3 or 4. That'll make it 2nd and 5.
You know, I got to say this. In football history, has there ever been a 1st and 9? That seems kind of rare. Does it 1st and 5 happens? First and 9?
It is rare.
Okay, well, we just picked up something there.
The referees just said, hey, spot the ball.
Yeah.
Spot the ball, and then, let's play. So
this will be a 2nd and about 5.
Yep, 2nd and 5, 5:35 left in this first quarter. East River trying to get something going on offense. Once again, Edgecombe in the shotgun. Looks like he has Washington with him. Edgecombe rolls out. He's going to throw middle, and that's wow. That was about as easy of an interception that you could have for Jalen Daly, but he dropped it. That hit him right in the numbers. He was almost playing wide receiver right there, JC. And, you know, that's where they come up with the saying, they play defense and not offense.
I'll tell you, that was a Christmas present about 2.5 months early.
It was, my goodness. You know. Hit Daly right in the numbers, unable to come down with that one. So 3rd and 5 for the Falcons. You could kind of see what Edgecombe was looking at right there. He had 2 guys actually in that same area, but when you have 2 guys in the same area, you bring even more defenders to that area.
He's got some ability, I'll tell you. He really does. Nice arm.
He does. So 3rd and 5 for the Falcons offense. Edgecombe will take the snap. He's going to throw middle, and that one is picked off. That's number 6. That's Kevin Thorpe on the interception by Melbourne. And really, he read that like a book. It looked like Edgecombe was wanting his guy to sit right at that first down line and just throw it almost like a quick little dig, like a 5-yard dig. My guy's sitting at the first down line. Let's just pick up the first down. And Thorpe read that really, really well. And now he's setting up the offense with tremendous field position. So C.J. Hall and company will head back out, and they're already inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle. One wiggle, and ball carrier, that is number 20, Tyrese Jefferson on the carry. He'll pick up about 9.
Yeah.
And Jefferson, he's had a really good year as well. Young player and still has plenty of years to go, but he's shown a lot of talent and promise himself.
So that first drive was about 45 seconds for the first touchdown. If they hurry here, this will be an even shorter one.
Absolutely. It's ticking down to about the 4:45 mark in this first quarter, and Melbourne's threatening once again. That's going to be a false start. That was number 76, I believe, 76 or 75. I can't read the jersey. Yeah, that was Carter Black who moved there. And sometimes if you flinch just a tiny bit, they don't see it. No, that was a little bit more. That was a jolt by Black.
You know, again, we're about, midway through the season. You would think the penalties would go down a little bit, but, I mean, we still have 4.5 minutes to go and just too many penalties. And it seems like it's a silly type of penalties, you know?
Yeah, pre-snap, disciplinary penalties. You know, every now and then there's going to be a hold. That's just the nature of the game.
Yeah.
But a false start, a roughing the punter, pass interference, got to get rid of those. It's going to be a throw to the end zone, and wow. That was nearly a one-hander. It looked like – did he throw that to his brother right there?
No, 7, Jeremiah Thomas.
Okay. Well, Jeremiah Thomas right there nearly looked like Jeremiah Smith, and he almost brought that down with one hand. That was an absolute great attempt, but –
So CJ's brother EJ has not even been targeted yet.
Not yet. They probably watch a little bit of film and say, hey, we see the same last name. We see that there's obviously a connection there.
Yeah.
We're not going to allow that to happen just so soon. But I'm assuming we will be seeing it probably pretty soon.
I would think so.
4:13 mark here, first quarter. Melbourne threatening again. I believe there was a penalty right there.
I guess so, because it's first down.
Yeah, they're marking them first down, and they're even closer.
First and goal for the 5.
Yep. Empty backfield for C.J. Hall. And it's going to be some trickery. And one move and into the end zone. That's number 2. That's James Nollmeyer on the touchdown. Really an end-around type of play, trickery. Goes for 6 on about a 5-yard scamper. So That is the second touchdown of the game. And with 4:05 left in this first quarter and the point after pending, it is Melbourne 13, East River 0. And it is good. So 14-0 start for the Melbourne Bulldogs in this first quarter. And you don't normally see like an end-around type of trick play right there so close to the end zone. But really, Nollmeyer was able to make 2, 3, 4 guys miss and get into the end zone. And that'll give the Bulldogs a early 2-touchdown lead.
Yeah, I think that inside rushing play, I don't see it a lot. That was a little bit different, yeah.
It was
worked
different.
out well.
So Melbourne will kick off. East River will have their third possession of this first quarter. And you don't want to say it's danger time just yet, but if you're East River, you got to think, hey, we at least got to take some time off the clock right here and show some promise, get down the field somewhat. Even if we don't get a touchdown, at least give us ourselves an opportunity for a field goal. Kickoff goes deep and into the end zone for a touchback. So the Falcons offense will set up at the 20-yard line.
Second touchback for Martinez.
Yeah, great leg right there. 2 touchbacks in this first quarter. So 4:05 left. And honestly, I would say, JC, it's been relatively easy for the Bulldogs offense to move down the field.
Yeah, definitely. And for East River, their deepest penetration, I think, was about their own 45, and that's when they stalled out on that 4th down play. Couldn't get the – I was kind of surprised they didn't punt there. I mean, it was 4th and around 7, and they were kind of deep in their own territory, but they went for it but didn't make it.
I was surprised that they didn't punt it as well, but honestly, the 4th down attempt wasn't too bad. They actually had an opportunity. It was dropped by Washington, so see what they do here. Snap goes to Edgecombe. He's going to roll back, throw it over the middle. It is caught. Some room to run, and that's going to be a nice gain of about 21. Number 10, that is Wyatt Johnson for the Falcons. Good catch and run there by Johnson, and that's the type of momentum and really just getting comfortable in this environment. Now, it's not too loud, it's not too rowdy out here, but when you're down by 2 touchdowns, you probably feel a little bit of pressure to get it going.
Yeah.
Edgecombe in the shotgun. It's going to be a handoff. Run will go through the tackles, and wow. That was a group of Bulldogs in there on the tackle, led by number 25.
And also 33, Tyler Gagan, we mentioned on the pregame. He was into the stop as well. Holding on East River. So that's frustrating. They weren't able to pick up anything on the play, and then they're called for holding. So kind of a double thing there.
Yep, bring it back to the 30. That's going to make it 1st and 20 for the Falcons offense. And really, those are the type of plays that in a game like this, when you're already down by 2 scores, you really cannot have behind schedule type of plays. Looks like we're going to have another timeout by East River. I will take this time to thank some of our sponsors. As always, All Points, Florida Tech, Health First, Eastern Florida State College, Mike Erdman Automotive, and Auto Expo 95. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors.
Well, I tell you, Mike Erdman. So I think all of his kids went to Melbourne Central Catholic. And it was the Erdmans and the Ziarnos who went to MCC, a bunch of them. But again, Mike Erdman, we're so grateful for your support of high school football athletics.
And this one of the few games that is actually being shown because really a lot of these Brevard schools, especially that still have the traditional grass field, they're flooded.
So can I assume that Satellite is playing West Nassau tonight? They were hosting them. We don't know if that game is taking place. So.
Not 100% sure about that one, but West Nassau looked to actually be probably the best competition for Satellite thus far through the season.
Do you know where they're from? I've never heard of them.
I believe they're down south.
Okay, all right.
So that'll be an interesting one. Satellite, first year under head ball coach Dan Burke looking to go undefeated. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle. Squared up, not much room to run. Pick up about 2 yards. That'll make it 2nd and 18.
Again, up the middle has not been very good tonight for East River.
That's not where you run at all, especially if you've tried it 2-3 times. You're going to want to see some success in it, but it's not been there. So I think you turn away from that. I think you go to the outside contain runs. You go to the power runs. And maybe even run Edgecombe a little bit. He's shown some wheels on the outside.
Yeah.
Got a too high safety look for Melbourne. They're not playing too deep, so you can assume they're playing the run. But it is going to be a pass. Edgecombe is able to escape out of there, and he has a man, and it is caught. So that's number 3. That is Noah De La Cruz for East River on the catch.
That's a gain of about 24, give or take a couple of yards. Nice pass by Edgecombe. The receiver was wide open.
He was wide open. And honestly, I think the reason that East River's had some guys wide open is because the defense, their eyes are on the quarterback. They know that he has the ability to roll out. Just like you mentioned, he has that Michael Vick type of prototype. If he rolls out, the defense feels like, wow, this guy could be a burner and he could get through us.
So first time over midfield.
Yep, Edgecombe will step back once again. He's going to go deep, and he's got a man. It is caught, and that is going to be a touchdown. Trying to see the number right
flag.
there.
Maybe some celebration or something.
I think they're throwing a flag for excessive celebration.
Yeah.
I don't think that was excessive, in my opinion. He could have been saying some profanities. I'm not 100%
sure. So
sure.
Try and pick up the number. It's real hard to see these uniforms for East River. I mean, black on red is never a good combination for the human eye. 44 yards, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that was a touchdown for East River. So Edgecombe rears back and throws a bomb that is caught for a touchdown.
So unsportsmanlike, that should be assessed in the kickoff.
Which we don't know what he said from up here, but it didn't look to the eye. It didn't look like he did anything too crazy other
if you're going to
than get hyped.
If you're going to celebrate, just celebrate away from our opponents. You know, I could say, I mean, they're kids, they're emotional, but don't do in your face or anything like that, or the officials are going to call it.
Yeah, honestly, I was a little bit surprised that they did call something right there. It looked like they celebrated with each other. It wasn't really taunting. It wasn't really anything too crazy. But like I said, you can't really hear anything from where we're at, so you can imagine maybe some profanities were said.
Liam White is the kicker. Oh, we got another penalty. This might be on Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Oh boy, how do you go offsides at an extra point? Jeez.
That's what it just led to, is an opportunity to block an extra point. So that's why you're seeing the jumping off sides.
It would be very enticing here to go for 2. Now, where do they put it down? About the 2-yard line? I guess you still kick it. You know, if it was an odd kind of score, maybe you try and go for 2, but they're on target to get this down to 7. So.
Yep.
So Liam Johnson, or Liam White, I'm sorry. Liam White is the kicker. Ooh.
It is short, but
Line
it
drive.
is in.
Wow, it's good, though.
Yep. So with 1:55 left here in the first quarter, it is Melbourne 14, East River 7. And that was about a 45-yard pass by Edgecombe. And like we just mentioned a moment ago, JC, there's been guys wide open for the Falcons.
Yeah. So it tells me that Melbourne High is playing the run much better than the pass, because there have been some receivers wide open. That was a beautiful aerial pass by Edgecombe.
It was.
Perfectly placed.
Beautiful ball right there. And that's the type of play that if you're the Falcons, you kind of need that. You kind of need some momentum swing. You need some type of confidence boost, and they got it right there. So obviously referees checking back for the unsportsmanlike penalty off of the touchdown.
This is why you've got to stop with the celebration or do it away from your opponents, because Melbourne should get some really good field position out of this.
So they'll be booting it out from the 25-yard line. East River will boot it deep.
Not a bad kick.
Not at all. Return will go up the sideline. And that was number 20 right there. That was Tyrese Jefferson.
39-yard return.
Yeah, really, really good return. That sets Melbourne up in Falcon territory already. So with 1:45 left in the first quarter, with the way the offense has moved the ball, you can imagine that we're going to see another Melbourne touchdown before the first quarter ends.
Jefferson's only a freshman.
Only a freshman.
You know what? He looks like he's going to be a really good player. I hope he stays in Melbourne High all 4 years, because with this, they don't have the transfer portal in high school, but players can move around. They have a lot more freedom of movement. So
at this point, it is the transfer portal.
It probably is unofficially, yeah, on the high school level.
Empty backfield for Hall. He's got 3 at the top of your screen. Man in motion. It's going to be a sweep to Jefferson. He makes one miss, makes another miss. He's got room down that left sideline, but it's going to be a hold on Melbourne. That'll bring them back. It's going to be 1st and 20. And those sweep plays, they're very hard to not hold, because when you have a guy swinging around that corner, you think, hey, I want to hold, but you can't hold because you're trying to contain, and the defensive end saying, hey, let me go. I got to go tackle your running back or wide receiver.
Now, my interpretation of holding is you can't really hold on the outside of the jersey, but the inside you can. Is that the way you read it? Because they do hold on every play.
You know, there's some sort of holding on every play.
Right, yeah.
Holding, from my eyes, is, you know, especially on a run like that, when the ball carrier is going around that corner, if you have him up inside those shoulders and he's trying to go off and break containment, then you got to let him go. You got to let the defensive back go, or defensive end, excuse me. Oh, fumbled snap. Hall just picks it up and does what he can. He'll pick up about 3.5. So a fumbled snap right there, and that wasn't a bad snap. It was just dropped.
I assume you saw the Trevor Lawrence play where
My goodness.
He fell down twice and still got up and ran it in. With like 20 seconds to go and no timeouts.
That was an amazing play.
Oh, my goodness.
Because especially when you're in the pocket as an NFL quarterback, you only have 2-3 seconds to get rid of the ball as it is.
You know, Lawrence said he was just going to try and throw the ball out of bounds, but he said, I think I can make it, and he did. So
that was an incredible play.
That's one for the highlight film for the Lawrence family.
And to beat the Chiefs, it's just, that was an amazing play. Throw outside, it's Tyrese Jefferson. He's going to be dragged down. But that'll be about a gain of 10, so that'll set up about a 3rd and 5. Critical down right here for the Falcons, as this is going to be the first opportunity for the Falcons to potentially get off the field.
And Jefferson showing he's a capable receiver. So
yes, indeed.
You get the feeling he can play some college ball. I mean, it's way too early. He's a freshman, but he's got some great ability.
Well, we've already seen him get some notice from some colleges, and
really.
Yes, sir.
This early, huh?
He's had some colleges interested in him already. He is a talented freshman. So ticking down, under 30 minutes now, or 30 seconds, excuse me, left in the first quarter. Hall steps back. He steps up. He's got some room, and he's going to pick up a first down. He found a little bit of room up the middle of his offensive lineman, and he runs it for about 13 yards and picks up a first down.
Yeah, called a gain of about 15, but you're pretty close. That was literally the parting of the Red Sea, because East River wears red uniforms. That was a wide open gap there.
It was.
So again, East River, this is a little bit disheartening. They get the touchdown to get it 14-7, and then Melbourne right back at it, trying to get a 2-score lead here.
So that officially was the last play of the quarter, and as we go to quarter number 2 and switch sides. It is Melbourne 14, East River 7. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. J.C. Meyerholtz, Zane Garcia from Tom McIntyre Stadium, home of the Melbourne Bulldogs. It is homecoming night for Melbourne, and they are hosting the East River Falcons. So thank you all once again, and we'll be ready for the second quarter in just a moment.
So again, we were supposed to be at Merritt Island for a great matchup, Merritt Island O'Galley, and it evidently was not the field at Merritt Island that was the problem that got flooded. It was the surrounding roads, so getting there might have been some trouble. But I'm kind of disappointed because I've known Orville Susan for over 20 years, and also Steve Wilson is hopefully going to come back eventually. Two great guys who have had a lot of health problems, and Orville's been back, I think, for about his third game, and he didn't make the trip down here. So, Orville, if you happen to be watching, I look forward to seeing you, my friend. It's been a while.
Yeah, Orville and Steve,
they could not be
legends.
They could not be any different, but they're two really good guys. Different personalities, but I love them both.
So Melbourne's offense looking to put another touchdown together.
Okay. And there goes the handoff up the middle. I'll take over the play-by-play and give you a break. And let's see, was that number 3? It was Kamarian Johnson. That might be his first carry. I don't think he had a carry in the first quarter.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah. So that'll be a gain of about 3, 2nd and 7 coming up for Melbourne. So, again, Zane Garcia with me. I'm J.C. Meyerholtz. Again, thanks for tuning in. Just underway in this second quarter. Beautiful night for a football game. Nice 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze, and it actually does feel like October. So one of my favorite months of the year. So the Bulldogs will send 3 players out to the right. And again, under center, or on the shotgun, we got Hall. So Hall back to pass, throws in the end zone, and it's tipped. Is it caught? No, incomplete. Oh, the East River guy was right there, could not reel it in.
JC, they had 3 Falcons in that area, and nobody was able to come down with the ball. We talked about it before the game. If East River wants to come in here and upset the Bulldogs, they're going to have to come down with those type of plays.
Yeah. Rogers was the intended receiver, and he was swarmed upon by a bunch of red. So split out to the right, we got Field, along with Noel Mayer and Daly. So triple receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And this will be a 3rd down and about 7. Back to pass, Hall throws it, complete, 15-yard line, up to the 10 to about the 7, still on his feet. Is that the tush push? Oh, look at that. They've been watching the Eagles. We got a flag. Eagles being upset by the Giants last night, which was a shock, but I'm sure they got the tush push in.
I want to speak on that a little bit. It wasn't really a shock for me, and the reason I'll say that is because the Eagles, they just haven't looked all the way there. Now, their record shows that they have, but they've had to squeak by week in and week out, and then the way that the Broncos were able to come back and beat them a week ago.
I did not watch the game, but I watched the Phillies. It was a bad sports night for Philadelphia last night.
It was.
And the Flyers lost too, so it's 3 sports teams going down.
And you also gotta give a little shout out to the rookie stars for the Giants, Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo. They've brought a new energy to the New York Giants, and I can tell you right now, Giants fans have been needing and wanting that for a while.
Okay, is that interference on the offense? How do you get an interference on that? Or a illegal assisted play? Okay, well, anyway. The officials put the ball down at the 7.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused.
First and goal from the 8.
Yeah, they said
the penalty was on Melbourne. All right, well, we'll just roll with it. First and goal from the 8, shotgun Hall. He hands it off around the left side up to the 5, and he's shy of the goal line, the 1-yard line, the handoff.
That was Jefferson.
I was trying to see the number. Okay, Jefferson on the carry. So he'll gain about 5. Let's see where they place the ball. The 2-yard line. So Melbourne in very good shape here. Second and goal for the 2. You would think they could get this in. We'll see. They quickly line up. Tight formation. Again, shotgun for Hall. Running back right beside him. And that's Jefferson. And Jefferson, he might have gained a yard, but he needed 2 for the score. So this will bring up third down and goal from the 1. Checking in, we've got Noel Mayer and Rogers, number 1 and number 2 respectively. I guess, if you have a tall receiver, maybe you could do a fade pattern here, but I'm probably guessing they're going to run the ball again.
I believe they're going to run the ball. I think when you're at the 1, it's just favorable. I wouldn't be surprised to see them do a little power play right here.
Well, let's see what happens. Third and goal from the 1. Pitch play Jefferson. He's going to make it. 1-yard touchdown run. The fabulous freshman, Tyrese Jefferson. The future looks bright for him. Touchdown, Melbourne, and it's back to a 2-score game. 20-7 for the Bulldogs. 10:02 to go. First half, extra point coming up.
Good play right there. If you run up the middle multiple times, especially at the 1-yard line, you're going to see defenses expecting that. So the pitch play there goes to Jefferson, and he's able to wiggle in and get a touchdown.
There's the extra point by Luis Martinez. So 21-7 in favor of Melbourne as the cheerleaders are celebrating right in front of us, the Melbourne High Bulldog cheerleaders. So we'll line up for the kickoff here. And again, Melbourne can't take anything for granted here. Again, I did the game against Merritt Island. They jumped out to the 14-0 lead. And I think it was 14-7 at the half. And then Merritt Island pretty much took over the second half.
Yeah, Melbourne has shown throughout this season that, now I will say they've played some opponents that just on paper shouldn't be on the field with them. But you look at the talent that they have on this roster and you say, hey, they're going to be an 8-2 team. They look as they should be an 8-2 team. And the way that
that Viera game will be interesting. You pointed that out, yeah.
It will be interesting. Eric Nelson, quarterback for Viera, leads a really good offense over there. So that'll be an interesting game as well.
All right, here's Martinez, left-footed kicker. This is short. This will be returned at about the 15-yard line. 20-25 up the middle. That'll be about a 15-yard return. And I think that's, number 2 took the kickoff. That's you mentioned his name a couple times, Cameron Hancock. So, East River will have the ball, down 21-7, 9:57 to go. I believe they have at least 2 of their timeouts remaining. So we'll see what they can do here. Again, East River kind of a tough start to the year, 1-5. Again, Melbourne 5-2.
But last drive, we saw that East River can move the ball. Edgecombe with a beautiful 45-yard pass and touchdown.
All right, so Edgecombe lining up the troops. First down play from their own 29. Shotgun. Edgecombe, he's lined up in it all night. Here's a sweep around the right side. And that's number 1 on the carry. That's Washington. And he gains 2 up to the 31-yard line. Good pursuit by Melbourne. One of the tacklers in was Noah McNair, one of the outside linebackers. So 2nd and 8.
I think with how this game has gone, East River hasn't really been able to stop the Melbourne offense. You got to imagine that coach for East River, Cam Phillips, he's telling them, hey, we got to have points. You cannot punt the ball back to that offense. They're able to score and score at will.
Got Gross and Velez split out to the left side for East River. One receiver to the right. 2nd and 8 from the 29. Back to pass. Edgecombe. And the pass, he would have had a free ticket to the end zone. Mikey Rogers, he's going to see that one in his nightmares tonight. Maybe he was looking forward and not getting the ball and gathering the ball in.
Yeah, that was about as easy as they come right there, JC. I could tell you right now, if I was probably just 2 or 3 years younger, I could probably go out there and pick that and take that to the house.
All right, so this will be a 3rd down and 8 from the 31. Again, 9 minutes exactly to go in the first half. East River will send Wyatt Johnson far out to the left, 2 receivers to the right. So big play for East River if they want to keep this drive alive. 3rd and 8 from their own 31.
Absolutely.
Shotgun Edgecombe. Low snap, but he gets it. Here comes the blitz. There's the pass down the field. He's going to overthrow his receiver. So TJ Gross, the intended receiver, he had to get rid of the ball, and he just overshot Gross by a few yards. One of the players back deep for Melbourne, John Larson, and trying to pick up the number here, 3 was Camarion Johnson. So Johnson evidently plays both ways. He's one of their best running backs. All right, if you're East River here, you really got to punt. Now, is their punter healthy because he got hurt in that early play? Are they really going to go for this? You know, somebody can punt the ball, and maybe they'll do a quick kick, which was a big thing in the 50s, even in the NFL, and certainly in college, the old quick kick. Usually you do that on 3rd down, though.
I mean, their passing game hasn't been bad. I mean, besides that overthrow right there, they've been able to have guys open. It's just been a matter of connecting.
Okay, this is 3rd. I just don't understand why they're – oh,
wow.
Okay, they drew him offside, but they're still going to be shy of the first, but do it again, and they'll get the 1st down.
I mean,
Melbourne's got to be more disciplined.
Even if you don't get them to jump off sides again, you got to think about actually going for this. I mean, it's going to be probably a long 4th and 3, but you have a dynamic quarterback in Edgecombe. He gets around that outside. I mean, he's shown speed that he can pick up 3, 4, 5 yards on just a regular carry.
Well, I think you and I could disagree. I mean, the line of scrimmage is a 36. If you don't make it, you give Melbourne great field position. So I would punt it away. Maybe their punter's hurt. Maybe he got hurt on that one play. I thought he walked off the field under his own power, but somebody can kick the ball 20 yards, can't they?
If I'm East River, I'm punting it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's still an option to go for it.
Melbourne band trying to distract Edgecombe here. He is under center. I think he's trying. Well, no, they're going to snap it. He'll roll out to the left. Being pursued, throws it down the field into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Intercepted and taken down. John Larson with the interception. I don't want to be critical of him intercepting the ball, but if he knocks it down, they're back at the 36-yard line, so they lost about 25 yards. But if he can get an interception, good for him. Yeah, we got a penalty.
There was a flag, but it's going to go on East River for a hold.
Okay.
So, but JC, you make a really good point there. You bat the ball down. I know you want the interception, it adds to your stats, but you bat the ball down, then shoot. You're set up at the 35-yard line, and you only have really not even 5 yards to go, and you're in field goal range.
And I'll tell you, Jeff Benucci at halftime would say, hey, that was a good interception, but next time knock it down because it was 25 yards. And you don't have to yell at the kid. Just say, hey, use your head a little bit better. It was a nice pick, though.
Absolutely.
So, I think I've talked to Benucci on the phone. He seems like a real even-keeled guy, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't talk to him about it. But anyway, Melbourne will have the ball back, 21-7, 8:44 to go. Of course, the penalty that was on East River declined, so the Bulldogs will have the ball up 21-7, 8:44 to go. If you're East River defensively, can't fall behind by 3 scores. That'd be tough.
No, you can't. And, I mean, Melbourne's able to move the ball. They have been able to move the ball at will. So
1st down from their own 37. Back to pass. Hall throws it deep down the field. It's going to be, incomplete. A little bit of pinball on that play. Looked like it could have been picked off, but it falls incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. See who the intended receiver was. He has not targeted his brother yet. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. And the intended receiver, E.J. Hall. That's the first target tonight for his brother.
That is the first target tonight. And I'll tell you right now, he shouldn't have thrown it to him because he was triple covered.
I know, yeah.
And that was a dangerous throw.
All right, 2nd and 10, 37-yard line. Swing pass out to the flat, up to the 44-yard line. Catch by James Nolmeyer. Nolmeyer will gain about 6. And this will bring up a 3rd down and about 3 from the 44.
This is a must stop right here if you are the Falcons, because even if Melbourne gets no gain right here, you can imagine they're going to go for it.
Rogers and Hall split out far to the right. So Hall is the outside receiver. We got motion. Got a pass out in the flat once again. Ball caught up to the 50 to the 48-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 6. And that was Nolmeyer again, first down. Nolmeyer's had at least 4 or 5 catches tonight.
He has. And
he's been the most popular receiver, I think, tonight.
I really feel like Melbourne's thrown those outside swing passes and screens, and that's almost their run game. They're able to throw it out and get 4, 5, 6 yards every single time, especially set up with great blocking. That's one thing that is underrated if you are a wide receiver is blocking.
Okay, Rogers and Hall this time on the near side left. So first down from the East River 48. Handoff, Richardson has a big hole up to the 40 and still on his feet and pushed out of bounds. He'll have the first down. It'll be gain of about 12. So first down for the Bulldogs.
Man, I'll tell you right now, Jefferson is one of those runners that does not want to be brought down. He's going to be fighting for every inch, and I mean, you saw it right there. He probably should have only had 5, 6 yards on that run.
He's not terribly big,
he breaks
is he? He's not terribly big, is he?
No, not at all. I mean,
he might be bigger than Breece Hall of the Jets, but that doesn't take too much. So, and I love Breece Hall. I'm not making fun of him. He's one of the few bright spots for the Jets this year. Anyway, first down for the Bulldogs from the East River, 35. And that was a fake jet sweep. It goes up the middle. That'll be a gain of about 3. I thought maybe Rogers was going to get the ball, but it
was Jefferson once again.
Is it Jefferson again? Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll say I'm impressed. He's a freshman. You don't.
Where does he get it from?
You don't expect a freshman to come in here and get the majority of the carries, especially when you have other guys that still can run the ball effectively. But it's been Jefferson.
I've got to guess he played a lot of youth football. How many years can you play youth football? 3 or 4 years, and then you're in high school all of a sudden? Or
nowadays, in this generation, they start as young as probably like 4 years old.
I think that's way too young. Your bodies are not developed. Anyway, 2nd and 8 from the 33. Okay, Hall back to pass, throws. Oh, that could have been intercepted. In the area was 17, Jace Strang. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Boy, if Jace Strang could have caught that, he would have had a ticket to the house.
Yeah, he was running to go hit his head on that goalpost.
So clock stops, 6:28 to go in the first half, 21-7 Melbourne. Again, J.C. Myers with Zane Garcia, who I literally met for the first time in person tonight, and great to be with Zane tonight as we again had to shuffle up the crew with Merritt Island and Cocoa, but especially Merritt Island not playing tonight due to some flooding in the town of Merritt Island. 3rd and 8, swing pass out to the left. It's Jefferson again, up to the 30, first down, 25-20. He's still on his feet, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. That would be a hookup of about 27 yards. He almost took it to the end zone, but he got pushed out of bounds, actually about the 5, so first and goal for the 5.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive right there because initially there were some good blocks, but it didn't look like Jefferson had much to work with. But that's probably what works for him. He's got some speed on that outside.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're a running back, you really should be able to try and catch the ball, too. And he looks like he's just as capable as a receiver, as a runner. Some running backs are just, built to run.
Right.
He can catch, too, and that's quite an asset. So for the Bulldogs, a 1st and goal for the 5. Jefferson motion, handoff up the middle, and shy of the goal line. Call that a gain of about 4, and that was Kamarian Johnson.
So now that we're ticking to about the middle of this second quarter, I think that this is starting to be danger time if you're East River, because now if you let them score right here, it's going to be a 3-touchdown game. You're not really getting anything too much on offense. You're going to have to put up points and put them up without really spending too much time.
So 2nd and goal, quarterback sneak, Hall, and he is in for the touchdown. When in doubt, just do the quarterback sneak. You get the push from the offensive line, and you're in the end zone. So 27-7 Melbourne, 5:39 to go first half. Extra point coming up.
Yeah, this next drive is going to be so important for East River. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm East River, I want sustained drive, but I also want to take time off that clock because Melbourne hasn't really had any trouble moving the ball down the field. So with 5:39 left in this half, you're going to have to kick the ball to start the second half already, but you really, really need to have a sustained drive, pick up some first downs, and you don't need to score in a hurry. You feel like you want to score in a hurry because you're down 28-7, but realistically, as long as you can move the ball, whether it's a 5-play drive in 5 minutes or a 20-play drive in 5 minutes, you really need to take the time off the clock because Melbourne, they're going to put another touchdown on the board.
So Hall has a touchdown pass, 20 yards to field, and then the quarterback sneak, which you just saw. So a touchdown throwing and a touchdown rushing. So he could do it all, and it's 28-7 Melbourne. And again, if you're East River, you're 1-5 in the year, and you're staring a 28-7 deficit here. So their head coach Cam Phillips will try and pep up their team and say, look, let's stay in it. Now, Melbourne is going to get the ball to start the second half, though. So, all right, here's Martinez. He just hits a ground ball. It's fielded at the 22. Pick the ball up, young man, and he does. Up to 30, 33-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 12 in the kickoff return. And let's see, that was number 3 for East River, Noah De La Cruz. I like that name. Sounds like a famous explorer from 500 years ago here in Florida. Up there with, what's his name? Jeez. So much of my history. All right, 5:33 to go. East River should have at least 2 of their timeouts. So it'll be a first down for the 34. So again for East River, their quarterback, Aiden Edgecombe. Again, he's a lefty. Some of his weapons are Jermaine Washington in the backfield. And let's see what they do here. Once again, shotgun for Edgecombe. He's been shotgun the entire evening. He's got Hancock to his side. Double receivers left, first down from the 33. Edgecombe is looking left. He throws left out in the flat. Receiver gets away, and a nice pickup there of about 4 yards. I thought he was going to be tackled, but a modest gain. Call it about 4, second and 6.
And that's really what I was just describing, JC. You don't need a breakaway play on first or second down. You just need to sustain the drive. Look, the time is at 5:11. Honestly, I don't know why it just stopped unless there was a timeout taken. The time should not be stopped. Okay, now they're running it. But that's what you need. You need time to tick off the clock because the Bulldogs are going to come right back at you and score.
All right, East River sends 2 receivers out to the right, Gross and Jackson. 2 receivers to the left as well. Second and 6 from the 38. Shotgun Edgecombe. I assume that's still Hancock to his side. He is back to pass. He is looking. He throws it, slings it out, and is that ball caught? I believe it is, yeah. First down, nice catch there. Also keeping the feet in bounds. Up to the 45-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 7, and move the chain 6. First down for the Falcons.
Now that one will stop the clock. But really, that's a momentum and confidence type of play if you're his wide receivers. Because I'm going to be honest, Edgecombe's thrown a pretty ball. I mean,
he throws a nice ball, yeah.
Other than one overthrow, he's been accurate. So wide receivers got to help him out a little bit.
So first down for the Falcons from their own 45. They've only gotten over midfield once. Trying to get over midfield again. There's a swing pass out to the right side. And the man is wrapped up and thrown down. Watch the horse collar. They'll call you on that every time. But nice wrap up of the tackle by M.J. Cunningham. First time I've mentioned his name tonight. The receiver was Wyatt Johnson, who's had a couple of targets tonight. So that'll bring up a second and 10 from the 45.
So honestly, JC, I thought that was a horse collar. Referees don't call it.
That was borderline, yeah. I thought maybe they'd call that.
Now you got to stay engaged, though. You got to keep the pressure on the Bulldogs and try to pick up something here.
Gross is out wide left. 3 receivers to the right. So second down and about 10. Got motion far side. Edgecombe again, back to pass. Here comes the rush. He gets away. He throws it down the field. He's going to overthrow his receiver. Incomplete. Well, that could have been a great catch by Washington. As the ball was overthrown, he almost went up and got it. But it's going to be an incomplete pass out of bounds, and that'll bring up a third down.
Matter of fact, JC, I do think he caught that. I think he was just
Really?
out of bounds.
Oh, wow, gee.
I think that's what the referees were discussing right there because, number one, he stood up. That was Washington on the reception.
Right.
He stood up, and he kind of was a little bit, hyping up the catch because he made a tremendous effort, and he did catch that ball. He was just out of bounds. And that's what the referees had to discuss is did he get a foot in bounds?
And Washington actually checks out of the game, got a nice handshake from one of the coaches over there. All right, 3rd and 10. Big play here for East River with 3:29 to go in the half, down 28-7. 3rd down for the 45. Edge going back to pass. He rolling out to the left. He's being pursued by Small, who is a big guy, and Small, one of 3 Melbourne highs to get in on the tackle. Number 99, MJ Small. And let's see, we might have a player down far side, and it's Edgecombe. He's getting up. Thank goodness for that.
Well, where it's at in the game, I mean, it's taken down 3 minutes. They're about to have to punt the ball back.
Okay, be careful, please. Got some fans coming across us here. Again, we're broadcasting in the stands, so we're in rush hour traffic here a little bit on Babcock Street. All right, I think we got a timeout. Timeout, Melbourne High. So the punter is number 11, Liam White. I'm trying to remember, was he the punter on the play where he got roughed? I think that was him. But he's okay if it was him, and he'll be back to punt here when we resume in a moment. So 2:46 to go. So it's actually Melbourne that took that timeout.
Yep.
And it's 28-7 for the Bulldogs.
Melbourne takes that timeout. Keep some time on the clock, and I'm going to be honest, with the way they're moving the ball, they could probably move down the field 2 minutes, no timeouts, with the ability to pass to the outside is really what's been effective. They've been able to throw to the side, get 6 or 7 yards, get out of bounds. So really everything offensively going great and smoothly for this Melbourne Bulldogs team. And honestly, for East River, you got to think, hey, we still have shown some life, but there's a lot of things we got to correct.
So Liam White, the punter, standing on his own 29-yard line. Signals being called. Line of scrimmage is the 44. High snap, but there's no rush at all. And he kicks a line drive. Really good kick. It's going to go in the end zone, though. Boy, it would have been nice if East River could have had somebody down there to down it. But, boy, that'll go down as like a 60-yard kick, I think. So well, good for the stats anyway.
Unfortunately, because it's a touchback, they're going to subtract that 20 yards.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Which is tough because that was a really good punt.
Oh, yeah.
But
it was a line drive, and it took a nice kept going forward.
It's funny that the kicker caught that, and he just looked. He was like, well, nobody's going to come after me? Okay, I'm going to boot it.
He was thinking about going for it, but then he wisely, I think, punted it away. Yeah, there was no rush in that play for Melbourne. All right, the Bulldogs, let's see what they decide to do. 2:37 to go. Again, you're up 28-7. I don't think they're going conservative. We got a penalty.
Pre-snap penalty. We're going to have a false start.
Oh, gee.
So pre-snap penalties have that's another reoccurrence for Melbourne tonight, and that's something that they're going to want to clean up, especially as we mentioned, they play Vera. Yeah. Vera, has a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. They can capitalize on something like that. But really, more importantly, other than Vera postseason-wise, those are things that you really want to clean up because when you play some big dogs, other than Bulldogs, it's going to be tough.
I think the most popular penalties tonight have been the pre-snaps and the holds.
Correct.
And both coaches want to clean that up. So 1st and 15, back to pass Hall. He's looking deep down the far sideline. It's incomplete. It was intended for the brother act, E.J. Hall. I think E.J.'s finally saying, throw me the ball a few times, will you? And that might have been only his second target tonight.
And you can tell he has a lot of faith in his brother because he's throwing it into double and triple coverage and saying, hey, I'm throwing you a 50-50 ball. Go and get it.
Again, I'd love to be at the Hall dinner table sometime, like on a Tuesday night, and have them talk about the game, win or lose.
Honestly,
hey, brother, did you throw me the ball enough? I mean,
That wasn't really the smartest idea to throw that ball, but he gave him a shot at it, and it didn't fall.
So 2nd and 15, rolling out Hall. He's going to keep it. Runs it up to the 25. Gets belted, but still on his feet. And I think he might have the first down, depending on the spot. He had to get to the 30. You know what? I think he might be a little bit short.
Referees are moving the chain, actually.
Or maybe not.
So he got just enough.
All right, that was 15-yard gain, yeah. So 2:17 to go. Hey, look over there. There's the homecoming court. Everybody's lining up. Again, it's homecoming here at Melbourne High, and we got a whole bunch of beautiful people over there, well-dressed, who are going to take the field. And, of course, the highlight will be the homecoming king and the homecoming queen. We'll try and get the names on that later. All right, first down play from their own 30. Shotgun Hall, back to pass. He's looking deep down the far sideline, and it's incomplete.
Nearly intercepted again.
Jeremiah Thomas, the intended receiver. Good coverage there by the Falcons.
I was just about to say, JC, when you have man-to-man coverage, you do want to have faith that your guy can beat their guy. But if your guy is being shackled, and when I mean shackled, he's running with him on his hip, that's not a ball you want to throw.
All right, second down and 10 for the 30. Hall once again back to pass. He throws it, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Ty Field. Those two have hooked up for one touchdown tonight. That was the first touchdown of the game midway through the first. Hall to Field 20 yards. So nothing new there, but just throwing it out in the flat, incomplete. So that'll bring up a third down and 10.
And this is another opportunity right here for East River to get off the field and more or less really stop the bleeding that Melbourne has inflicted, because, as I've mentioned multiple times, that Bulldog offense really has moved the ball at will.
So 1:44 to go. Melbourne might have one timeout remaining. They don't show it on the scoreboard, so we're kind of guessing. So 3rd and 10 from their own 30. Got motion near side. Hall rolling out to the left. He's being pursued. He throws it, and it's incomplete. It was thrown a little bit low for Mikey Rogers, and pretty good coverage. And then end of the field, let's see, we had 14 Norris Mayo and Austin Felice. Felice in Spanish, by the way, means happy. I think you probably know that. So anyway, we Felice, very happy.
Well, I'll tell you right there, JC, from our view, if he leads Rogers by just maybe 2-3 yards, then Rogers is going to hit his head on that goalpost, because he had him down the sideline. It looked like it was kind of a crossing route, and it was a broken play that he told him to just go upfield. He had the receiver. It was just underthrown.
Okay, I think this is the punter is Brody. Oh, there it is, Brody Simmons. I believe that's him back to punt. If that's number 14, he's standing about his 17. Signal's being called. Snap is good. He gets it off. Not a bad kick, kind of end over end. And it's going to take a Falcon bounce. Now it takes a Melbourne bounce. And it's going to be downed at the 43-yard line. So I will call that about a 26-yard punt with no return. So 1:25 to go. East River maybe has a chance here to take a couple of shots downfield. And I don't know if they have much of a kicking game. So I think it's touchdown or bust.
I kind of agree with you. But with the arm strength that we saw from Edgecombe earlier in this game, I don't put it past East River to really have a shot at the end zone, whether it's a Hail Mary or not. I mean, you get 10 yards down the field. We just saw Edgecombe throw a 45-yard touchdown. He threw it about 40 yards in the air.
As the late Al Davis would be saying from heaven, go vertical, baby. All right, first down from the 44. Edgecombe shotgun. Triple receivers to the left, so they're going to be up to something here. Hancock besides Edgecombe. Edgecombe will throw left. It's going to be tipped around, incomplete. It was intended for Wyatt Johnson, who's been targeted probably at least a half dozen times tonight. Probably should have had it. Kind of a tough throw, but incomplete, second down and 10.
Honestly, right there, that looked like it was caught, intercepted, and then almost caught again.
Yeah, he probably feels he should have had it, so... All right, second down and 10 for the 44. Clock stopped, 1:20 to go. East River might have one timeout remaining, maybe two. Okay, they don't keep track of it on the scoreboard, and we kind of lose track of that stuff. All right, 2 receivers out to the left include Gross, number 5, and Velez, number 19. 1 receiver to the right. Second down play from the 44. Signal's being called. Edgecombe awaits the snap. He has it. He will step back. He'll throw it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Good coverage there defensively by Ty Field. So Field, one of quite a few Melbourne players that go both ways, and good hit there. If the ball would have been caught, he would have been nailed.
Honestly, JC, where they're at on the field, it's 3rd and 10. I know you want to score or at least pick up a first down, but with 1 minute and 14 seconds left, I'm running the ball. Making Melbourne take a timeout, and then you punt it away to them. Make them take a timeout or bleed some time off of that clock, because Melbourne's probably still thinking they can score another touchdown or at least put up some points.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do the kneel
halftime.
down. They're pretty aggressive offensively. So, all right, so this will be they're at the 44. They have to get to the 46. Yeah, so goal is 3rd down and 10 for the Falcons of East River in the town of Bithlo, not very far from my alma mater, the University of Central Florida. 3rd down and 10. Edgecombe shotgun. Hancock beside him. Here comes the rush, and Edgecombe will be sacked. He'll be sacked for the first time tonight. The combination of Kamari Jennings and Silas Walters. So this is going to be 4th down and overseas. 4th down and 24. Boy, you got to punt the ball here.
Absolutely.
101 to go.
Well, that's the timeout was taken by Melbourne, just like we said it would be. So if East River can somehow get the same punt that they did just a drive ago, then you're making Melbourne drive the length of the field. But if not, then really Melbourne is probably only looking to trek maybe 65 yards, and they have a potential touchdown if they don't have any timeouts, which we're not 100% sure. Then they want to at least get maybe 30, 35 yards, and then they'll set themselves up for a field goal.
Oh, by the way, we mentioned this in the pregame. If Melbourne wins tonight, it's their 500th victory as a program. You know, they were the first team to win a state title, 1966 in Brevard County. That's their only state title, but 1966, I was 5 years old. So way before my time. All right, 1:05 to go. Punting formation. I believe that's Liam White for the Falcons, standing on his own 14. Couple players back deep. We got Rogers on the near side, and I believe that is Jefferson on the far side. You don't want to punt it to him. We got a whistle, and what do we have? A timeout East River. That's probably their last one.
It's their last one, and honestly, it's a pretty good idea because
might as well use a timeout, yeah.
Well, Melbourne was coming after them. I mean, you saw they had probably 8 guys stacked up right at the line. They were coming after the punter, and really that's what you probably would want to do, especially where they're at on the field. Field-wise, it's probably the best decision to go after him, but you also got to think about that penalty to start the game was a roughing the punter.
Yeah.
So you want to be cautious of that. You run into the punter, then you're wasting time off the clock, number one, but you're also going to give an automatic first down to East River. So Melbourne is going to come after him, but got to be careful.
So again, the punter, Liam White, standing on his own 15. Oh, it's a ground ball snap. He's in a whole lot of trouble. He's going to be racked up like a rag doll and thrown down, and he loses his helmet. I mean, that was a clean tackle. He just got thrown down. So, you know, that was a ground ball snap on the punt, and you never want that. Football's an odd figure. And no discredit to White. He did the best he could, but he got wrapped up pretty well. And now Melbourne is set up beautifully with exactly a minute to go in the first half.
That was worst case scenario for the East River Falcons, as now Melbourne's going to take over at the 11-yard line with a minute left. Who cares if they have timeouts? They're at the 11-yard line. You're already in field goal range, and you've been able to throw the ball. So you're looking at potentially another 7 points.
You know, the chain gang has to catch up here. They can get a first down at the 1. So it's 1st and 11 for a touchdown. It's 1st and 10 if they want to get a first down at the 1. Okay, the chain gang is in place. A little slow, but, they're there. So first down from the East River 11. Back to pass Hall. Swing pass. Jefferson gets to the 10. Puts his head down and gets taken, stood up. What a tackle there. About the 7-yard line. So he'll gain about 3.
So we saw the punter for East River thrown down, and then right there, Jefferson, that was a WWE move. That was a pile drive, if anything.
All right, no huddle here. 33 seconds to go. We got 2 people in motion. Okay, they got to stop here. This is not the Canadian Football League. All right, rolling out to the left is Hall. He will throw it, and it's incomplete right at the goal line. And I believe that was Rogers, number 2. Let's see if he I think he's got a cramp. Uh-oh. I think Rogers has a cramp, which is painful, but it's not season-ending, but it's painful. And he stuck his leg up in the air saying, oh, the agony. All right, he's going to be helped up. Okay, I thought he had a cramp, but I think he's going to check out here. All right, so that's going to bring up a third down. I guess somebody called the timeout, 22 seconds to go.
Well, the time stopped, obviously because of an incomplete pass, and then I think that they gave them a timeout because of an injured player. Both sides went over, probably caught their breath. 22 seconds. This is a crucial down for both sides because you look at East Riverside, hey, we want to at least limit them to just a field goal. And then if you're Melbourne, you're saying, hey, we have an opportunity still to get the first down. Do you go just for the end zone or do you go for the first down?
Right now this would be a 22-yard field goal attempt if it comes to that. So that'd be a chip shot for Martinez. All right, let's see. We got a delay here. The man in the white cap is going to tell us something. Or maybe not. It's Mystery Theater, folks. Okay. Whatever it was not important. So this will be a third down play, 3rd and goal from the 7. Now they can get a first down if they get to the 1, but you might as well try and push it in here. Shotgun Hall, looking toward the end zone, a little bit of a fade pattern, and it might be intercepted. I'm looking for a signal. No, it's caught. Wow. Well, I called that play pretty lousy. Touchdown Melbourne.
Well, I mean, I'm right there with you, JC. I thought it was an interception.
I thought it was too. Good. Huh?
But it could have been one of those, both players had the ball, and, whoever gets the ball is going to be the one with the side of the referee. So touchdown pulled down right there. And as I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, that was worst case scenario for East River to have a bad snap, as that just gave the Melbourne Bulldogs a 28-point lead opposed to a 21-point lead and having to trek the whole field. They really only had to go 11 yards. So with 15 seconds left in this game from Tom McIntyre Stadium, it is Melbourne 35 and East River 7. Melbourne opens the second half, with the ball. So
they're living large now, up 28. By the way, that was Jeremiah Thomas on the touchdown reception. It was so far away from us, and there were so many players there, but I got clarification. Thomas. So Hall's got 2 touchdown passes throwing and 1 rushing. So he's having a big night. So 35-7. I'm guessing kind of a ground ball kickoff here if that's in the if I'm thinking like Martinez is here. You don't want a big return here if you're Melbourne. So ball at the 40. Again, Martinez, left-footed kicker, puts his left foot into it. It's a ground ball. 32-yard line, ball picked up. Not a bad return. About a 7-yard return. That was Wyatt Johnson, who's been very active tonight. So he's a guy who doesn't come off the field offensively, and he's even back on kickoffs. Now he's one of the up people, so he doesn't field too many kickoffs, but nice return there. I don't know, if you're East River, do you just go vertical here and throw it up, see if you can get a touchdown? Their one touchdown was very long. What was it? About 50, over 50 yards. I didn't get the yardage on that, but that was a long one.
I think they're capable of it, but honestly, I would take a knee just like they are.
Looks
take
like
a
they
knee
are, yeah.
and go into half. You don't want to force anything right here. You throw an interception. You know, Melbourne has some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, and they could easily take that to the house. So Melbourne will go to halftime leading the East River Falcons 35-7 on their homecoming game, and as JC mentioned, an opportunity to win their 500th game in program history. JC, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I mean, I think East River's got some capability, but you know, Melbourne's clearly the better club. Again, they're 5-2. East River's 1-5. I think East River's got some ability, but yeah, you kind of get the feeling, you know, one more score, and I guess we'll have the running clock in the third quarter because that's 35 points, and it's now a 28-point deficit, and Melbourne gets the ball. So this will be a challenge for East River to try and come up with some solutions to some of the problems that they're encountering.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head that East River, they do have some guys, but it's really been down to consistency. It's been down to making the right plays, making the simple plays, and really being able to catch the ball in space, and then furthermore doing something once you catch the ball. So it'll be an interesting second half. I think both sides really are at an opposite with it, and I think Melbourne is solely in control, and they're looking to get this running clock going. So
yeah, it's kind of neat. The locker rooms are right behind us. We're getting a good look at the players. They go into the locker room, and East River actually is using their locker room. You know, some visiting teams go in the end zone and just hang out there, but they're going to have some privacy in the visiting locker room. So, again, 35-7 in favor of Melbourne. Again, we got homecoming festivities coming up. Looks like the band is going to perform first.
Yep.
Representing the Melbourne High Sweat team, Katie Santos and Cameron Zendots. Representing the football team, Tyler Gajan and Jamie Lindsay. Representing the girls volleyball team, Cole O'Brien and Lovisa Felix. Representing the boys lacrosse team, Riley Gannon and Amaya Ingram. Representing the beach volleyball team, Jamari Penderfast and Madison Simcox. Representing the girls lacrosse team, Kristen Kennedy and Kayla Lamoro. Representing the boys soccer team, Carlos Diabas and Kylie Levetcher. Representing the boys basketball team, Levi Loveridge and Emma Barley. Representing the boys golf team, Nathan Sullivan and Tia Pryor. Representing the girls basketball team, Ambry Ward. Representing the cheerleading squad, Ross Sullivan and Piper Nicole Engel. Representing the Melbourne Time Travelers, Kyle McLaren and Paige Taterton. Representing the Melbourne Miracles, Kai Teal and Lila Knight. Representing the bowling team, Alani Hennon. Representing the track team, Janessa Palmer. Representing the yearbook staff, Brenna Petrias. Representing girls soccer team, Ava Ramada. And representing the girls golf team, Jenna Naylor. Now please welcome your 2025 Melbourne High School homecoming royalty. Representing the 9th grade, Peyton Riddle and Davion Rosado Garcia. Representing the 10th grade, Zara Toll and Austin Smith. Representing the 11th grade, Sarah Rossi and Dominic Cosi. And now, it is time to crown your 2025 Melbourne High School homecoming royalty. Second runner-up for homecoming queen, Ariana Johnson. Handing out the flowers tonight are Lena and Lila Booz, the Booz Princesses. It is Lila's 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Lila. First runner-up, Alice Terry. Your 2025 Homecoming King, Miles Alonzi. And your 2025 Homecoming Queen, Amaya Ingram. Let's have a large round of applause for your 2025 Melbourne High School Homecoming Torch. And congratulations to our homecoming king and queen. Thank you to the Pride of Mel High for your beautiful presentation. And now the court needs to come together to this photograph need to be taken.
And welcome back to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. JC Meyerholt, Zane Garcia from Tom McIntyre Stadium, home of the Melbourne Bulldogs. Melbourne Bulldogs leading 35-7. JC, tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, let's go over the scoring. So 14-7, Melbourne High over East River at the end of the first quarter. So they opened the scoring midway through the first. Hall to field, 20 yards, and it was only a 45-second drive as they got really good field position. Extra point good by Martinez, 7-0 Melbourne. And then about 2 minutes later, they scored again. Mikey Rogers, 5-yard touchdown run, extra point Martinez good, 14-0. The only score so far for East River came with 1:55 to go first quarter, a touchdown pass by Edgecombe, their outstanding quarterback. Extra point was good. So 14-7 at the end of the first quarter, and a very close ball game up to that point, but it was all Melbourne in the second quarter. Tyrese Jefferson, their outstanding freshman running back, a 1-yard touchdown run 2 minutes into the second quarter. Extra point was good by Martinez, and that made it 21-7. And then about 5 minutes later, quarterback sneak by Hall, their quarterback. Extra point good, 28-7. And then Hall had a 7-yard touchdown pass to Jeremiah Thomas. And that came with just 15 seconds to go in the first half, and the extra point was good. And, you know, you never want to give up a touchdown in the last 15 seconds of the quarter, especially when you're down by a bunch. That really hurts East River. And then, again, Melbourne gets the ball to start the second half. So this is going to be a huge hole for East River to try and crawl out of, down 35-7 at the half, Zane.
Yeah, it is. And I think if you're East River, you got to look at this game and say, hey, I don't want to tell my team it's over, but we're kind of feeling that way, that it's danger time, especially we're giving the ball to Melbourne to start the second half. But you tell your team, look, forget about the score. It's 0-0 right now. You play East River football. You go out there, no matter what Melbourne has done to this point, put that in the waist back and just do what you do. You know, you don't want to go out there and play like you're urgent. You know, you don't want to go out there and start throwing the ball around the yard like you need to score immediately, because really it's going to be really hard to come back from 4 touchdowns in a snap of a finger. So I think it's just playing East River football, forgetting about the score right now, and just doing what you can to trek through the field. You don't want to care about at least scoring a touchdown just yet. I mean, that's the end goal, but just worry about trekking down the field and sustaining a drive.
Yeah. All right, so we're still a couple minutes away from the start of the second half. Again, 35-7 in favor of Melbourne. So, again, Merritt Island, they got canceled tonight, or maybe postponed. I would think they're going to try and get that game in against O'Galley sometime later in the year. Again, you know, when we have hurricanes here, usually these teams will come back and play on a Monday or Tuesday night, but I haven't heard any word on that. And then Coco's game also got canceled tonight. They had some flooding issues. So we're proud to be here at Melbourne High. The hospitality has been A+. We appreciate it. We're in the stands along with this great Melbourne crowd, and they've obviously had a lot to cheer about in this first half. But I'll tell you, I love this field. That field is immaculate, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of Oregon's field, kind of the alteration of the light green and the dark green on the field.
Yeah, they do have a great field here, turf field. One of only a couple of schools to have a turf field.
Yeah.
I believe it's Merritt Island, Palm Bay, because of the old FIT stadium. Melbourne, obviously, here, MCC and Holy Trinity, both with turf fields as well. So it's not a huge thing around the county, but some schools are lucky enough to have it.
Well, I think it's a big investment, but I think it pays dividends in the long run, because traditionally you'd play on a grass field, it gets muddy, and that costs money to try and repair. But this field, I mean, I think it rained all throughout Brevard County today. I was substitute teacher today down south and got a great rainstorm there. But, I mean, this field was probably soaked, but this field drains so well. Unlike Merritt Island and Cocoa, couldn't play tonight. Melbourne High is playing.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the Coco Apopka game isn't as important. Not that it's not important, but it's not as important as that O'Galley Merritt Island game, as that is a district game. And I'll tell you right now, whoever wins that game by the standings has sole possession of that district. And I'll tell you right now, both those sides are really eager to get the field. As with the Space Coast Daily rankings, we have them right at 1 and 2. O'Galley has been phenomenal this year, and really Merritt Island's offense has been unstoppable. I mean, you look at just 2 weeks ago, they went up to Jacksonville and beat an E.D. White and Edward White team that is really talented. They were down 42-25 in that game and came back in the fourth quarter, down by 17, went on to win that game 52-49.
So, I did the Ed White game last year when it was at Merritt Island, and if I remember right, Ed White won that game. So Merritt Island goes up to Jacksonville, and they get a little revenge. So
they did.
Good for them, yeah.
They did indeed. So both those sides probably pretty eager to get on the field and play each other. Merritt Island at 4 and 2, O'Galley at 5 and 2. That district still kind of wide open, though. Titusville plays Merritt Island next week, and I'll tell you right now, Titusville gave O'Galley a really, really good game.
They're not a bad ball club, yeah.
27-14 was the final in that game, but what it doesn't show is that Titusville led 14-13 going into the fourth quarter of that ball game. And, I mean, if you don't have an Xavier Larice on your field for O'Galley, you might not have won that one. I'll tell you right there.
All right, so here we go with the second half. It's going to be Liam White to kick off for East River. Again, they're in the road red uniforms, and the home white with green numbers is Melbourne High. So here we go with the second half. Got Mikey Rogers and Tyrese Jefferson back deep. So the second half is underway, kind of a line drive kick. It's going to be picked up at about the 16. That is Jefferson. Up to 35, the 40, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. So for the 16 to about the 45, that is about a 39-yard return. Nicely done by Tyrese Jefferson, who certainly is a candidate for player of the game, I think, for Melbourne, along with Hall, the quarterback.
Yeah, Jefferson has shown a lot. And I'll tell you right now, I've been around the county this year. What a lot of phenomenal freshmen. Usually it's the upperclassmen, maybe a sophomore here and there, but juniors and seniors usually lead the way. There's been a lot of freshmen making a name for themselves in the county this season.
So first down for Melbourne from the East River, 43. So once again, shotgun for Hall. Here comes the snap. Quick pass out to the flat. Caught at the 38-yard line and still on his feet. Wow. I mean, getting away briefly was Rogers. That'll be a gain of about 7 to the 36-yard line. I mean, I don't know if it's the poor tackling by East River or just the great effort there on that play by Rogers, but he got away for a couple more yards.
I'll tell you right now, it's a little bit of both because Rogers, he's not a tall guy. He looks like, I mean, from our standpoint, it looks like he could be no taller than maybe 5'7", 5'8", and that makes you a little bit lower to the ground, lower center of gravity. Energy is a little bit different.
Handoff Jefferson. He's going to have another first down as he gets up to the 25-yard line. So big gain there of almost 15 yards and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Jefferson, he runs the ball, and I like how he looks for his next move. It's like he gets to the second level and he's already looking to the third level of how to get there.
He's only a freshman, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Exactly.
All right, so first down for Melbourne. They're quickly on the move here, already up 35-7, early third quarter. We got motion far side. Handoff around the Jefferson, around the left side, has some good yards, up to the 20, still on his feet, just shy of the 15-yard line. That's where they mark at about the 16. So from the 25 to the 16, he's just going to be, well, it looks like he might have gotten the first down. Looks like no, he's going to be a yard short. 9.5, so it's going to be 2.5 a yard. So Hall quickly to the sideline. That's kind of the way they do things as Coach Panucci gives them the information. So, again, if Melbourne scores here and if they make the extra point, we would be on a running clock. So we could get out of here early. I'm kind of hoping East River can come back, make it a game, but we'll see. So second and about a half a yard from the 16. We got motion near side. Handoff around the right side. First down and more means a touchdown. A nice run by Kamarian Johnson. So for Johnson, his first touchdown of the evening. That's a 16-yard run, and if they get the extra point here, it'll be a 35-point deficit, and a running clock should go into effect.
If he does make this, it will go into effect, but I think everything stays the same for what I spoke about on East River's mindset is you just go in there. Don't worry about the touchdown. Don't worry about the deficit. Yes, that is now a 35-point deficit, which will make that clock run, and they're already starting the clock. But you don't think about the score. You just think about going out there and playing your football because, let's be honest, you only have one win on the season. You're 1-5. You're not in the postseason picture. These are reps for your guys that are going to be there next year. And these are valuable reps against a good team. So you just go out there and you play your style of ball. And, I mean, you look at it, they're going to be losing some major players next year, but you're getting Jermaine Washington back. He's a sophomore. You're going to have your quarterback back, Edgecombe. He's a junior. So these are valuable reps, and I think that's the most important thing that Coach Phillips on the other sideline should be telling his Falcon players is, look, just go out there, play your style of ball, and don't worry about the score right now.
And I say this about East River and every team. You hope you have these players for 4 years because they could transfer. A lot more liberal on the transfer rules. This one is going to go in the end zone. I think that's a third touchback for Martinez, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line. I really like it when players can stick around for 4 years. Unless you have a legitimate reason to transfer, you move to a different part of the county and you're nearer to another school. But, yeah, you know, the portal in college drives me crazy. I mean, you can't really relate to the players. Like if you're a college student somewhere, who do we have on the team this year? We have a lot of transfers in. So that's the way it is, though.
I've talked to a lot of people about transfer portal and whether or not going to a school or staying at a school. There's different scenarios to it. I'm in favor of staying at a school all 4 years because let's be honest. Rivalries are not only built by the team's history, they're built by the players. They're built by each side building a culture with that team and playing year in and year out against each other.
I agree with your point. First down, Edgecombe from the 20. And it'll be a handoff around the right side. Nice gain. Wow. And that'll be a first down. It'll be a gain of 14, and I think I'll have to double-check to see who it is. It might have been Hancock. Again, very hard to see the East River numbers. It's black numbers on red. You know, one time in California, about 30 years ago, I did a high school game. I felt like I was at the LA Coliseum. I was up high, very far from the field, and the home team was Apple Valley, about 30 miles from Los Angeles.
Okay.
And they wore black numbers on orange.
Wow.
Can you imagine a worse combination for an announcer where you don't have the big TV monitor like Al Michaels has.
Yeah.
So that was tough, and this is equally tough. It's kind of hard to – Melbourne's numbers are great. You can read them pretty easily. Anyway, I digress. First down from the 34, handoff up the middle. That might be Hancock, and he's got a huge hole, and he'll gain about 15 upright near midfield. You know, I think East River's only crossed midfield twice, and they're right at midfield now. So that's been part of the problem, trying to penetrate deep into their territory. So 2 consecutive first downs for the Falcons. They try and show some life here.
And that's the thing is, yes, you're down by 35 now. The clock's going to continue ticking because it's now going to be an accelerated clock. It's going to be a running clock. But you don't think about that. You run your run plays that you would normally run. You run the pass plays you'd normally run. You don't play urgency football.
So the ball's actually, the tip of the ball's right at midfield. First down from midfield. Direct snap Edgecombe. He'll take it around the right side, and he'll gain about 7 as he's driven out of bounds at about the 43. So I'd call that a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 coming up.
And really, those couple of runs that East River has seen in the start of this drive, that gives the team a little bit of juice. Now, if they come back from 42-7 to win this game, you're going to look at the FHSAA history and say that's the greatest comeback of all, maybe probably all of FHSA history.
Well, especially with the running clock going now.
Exactly.
Now, if it goes below 35, do we go back to regular time? Or?
It does.
It does.
So
okay.
that'll be interesting. But
yeah,
I don't believe they're going to come back. But you want to see some juice and see some life from this
all right,
team.
2nd and 3, and he's going to be very close with forward progress to the first down. I believe that's Hancock again. So I think he might be a yard short, or maybe a half a yard short.
Yeah.
So call 3rd and 1.
Looked like he was pretty close right there. So,
yeah.
But with this running time, we're now ticking under 7 minutes left in this third quarter. Melbourne sideline saying, "Hey, we already got this thing wrapped up," and East River they're just going to continue playing. You know, I mean, you don't want to show any quit, and especially if you're a coach, you don't want to show any quit because that tells your team like, "Hey, we're just going to lay down," and they don't look like to be that type of team.
Okay, single receivers right and left. 3rd down and 1 for East River for the Melbourne 41. Shotgun Edgecombe. He's got 2 men in the backfield. Low snap. He hands it off around the right side, and the man is going to be dropped for a loss. That is Jermaine Washington, who saw the ball kind of early in the game. He's been kind of gotten away from. And that's going to be a loss of at least 5 or 6. Well, you know what? You're over midfield. You're down 35-7. This is an instance, yeah, just go for it. I mean, you're down 42-7. So,
yeah, this is the part of field. I mean, whether you're down or not, you're going to go for it. This is kind of no man's land,
right?
And it's 4th and 4. I mean, Tyreek Edgecombe. I don't know a Tyreek Edgecombe, but an Aiden Edgecombe for East River. He's dynamic. I mean, he can throw the ball. He can run the ball. If he gets around that corner, he can pick up a first down.
So it's Gross and Johnson being split out to the left to get 4th and 4. East River trying to keep this drive alive, maybe trying to draw them off sides. Long signal count here. Let's see if the snap is coming. And it is. Handoff up the middle. He's not going to get there. In fact, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and it's no dice, and Melbourne will take over on downs.
Honestly, JC, I'm a little bit shocked about the play call right there. The running game up the middle has only worked maybe once or twice. The runs outside have been more successful, and really their success, if they've had any, has come from Edgecombe rolling out in the pocket. So that play call kind of surprises me.
So our referees signaled a water break, so they actually do stop the clock for the water break. I guess water breaks and injuries primarily. They'll stop the clock of the running clock. Again, 42-7 Melbourne, and that was a quick water break. Both teams are back out in the field, and the Bulldogs have it a first down from their own 44, so they can add to this lead, and we'll see what happens. Got motion. Handoff, Jefferson, big hole up the middle, 40, 35, 30. He will be wrapped up at about the 20-yard line. Call that a gain of about 36. For Tyrese Jefferson, who must be over 100 yards by now. I mean, he and Hall, the quarterback, certainly are candidates for player of the game, but let's give some credit to that offensive line. They blew open some holes.
Yeah, they're pushing guys around. Jefferson has been able to get to the second level on nearly every single handoff that he's taken, and that's accredited by the offensive line, who's been able to open some holes for him.
Now, I'll tell you, I'm going to credit that offensive line in a moment, but first, a first down from the 21. We got motion near side. Hall will hand it off. It's Jefferson again, and Jefferson with a pretty good run there, a gain of 4. So at center, you got Dean Baker. Left guard is Carter Black. The right guard is Cam Wilworth. Left tackle, Eli Laporta. And the right tackle, Josh Fils-Aimee. Now, not all those might be in the game currently, but that was the starting offensive line, and doing a great job. So we'll call this a 2nd and 4 for Melbourne from the East River 18. Split out far to the left is Thomas. 2 receivers to the right. And give it to Jefferson again. Boy, he is wrapped up and taken down. A rare loss for Jefferson. Good job there by East River. Andre Brown coming in from his linebacker spot and making the stop.
Yeah, that was the first time that Jefferson actually got blown up in the backfield. Good stop there by Brown. And really, this is the point in the game that Melbourne has already really dominated this game, but you're putting pretty much the final nail in the coffin right here. You go up 49-7.
Triple receivers to the right. It's Hall and also Gale. Back to pass. Oh, he's going to be – oh, no, he gets away. Up to the 20, a slippery bar of soap in the bathtub. Hall getting away from a sure sack, and he got something positive out of a negative.
Yeah, I don't know how he broke out of that one right there.
Doing a little bit of Fran Tarkenton from about 52 years ago. Or maybe Roger Staubach. Either one. I remember those days, 50 years ago. All right, so 4th down and 5, and I mean, if you're Melbourne, I mean, you're up 42-7, you're living large, you will go for this. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Again, shotgun is Hall. We got motion near side. Oh, somebody might have jumped offside. Let's see. Or was it 74? No, it was offsides. I was guessing maybe 74 Woolworth might have moved, but no, offside East River. And let's see, does that give them a first down? Or are they just a little bit short? 4th and less than a yard. So you can do a quarterback sneak here just as easily as anything else.
Yeah, 4th and 1. Now it's more realistic to go for it. At 4th and 6, it was kind of like maybe.
Quarterback sneak, and that'll be more than enough for the first down. They only need like a half a yard. And it's Hall, who quarterback sneaked for a touchdown earlier tonight, a 1-yard run. So no problem there. And Melbourne will keep this drive alive. They will have 1st and goal, I think, inside the 10. Let's see where they mark the ball. Oh, it's right at the 10. So 1st and goal for the 10.
Clock ticking. We're now under the 1-minute mark left in this third quarter with that running clock. That clock evaporates quick.
Yeah. So only drama is there, if they score, will it be in the third quarter or early 4th? If they don't get it here, it might be in the 4th. Okay, shotgun. Got Jefferson right next to Hall. And Jefferson will get it up the middle, and he breezes. It's a walk in the park for Tyrese Jefferson, who is having a game tonight. 10-yard run for Jefferson. Touchdown for Melbourne High. And for Jefferson, his second touchdown run of the night. He had a 1-yarder early second. Gets a 10-yard run here. And that just adds to the misery for East River. It's 48-7. Extra point coming up by Martinez. And the extra point is up and good. And that is the end of the third quarter, just like that. That'll be the final play of the third quarter. So all Melbourne High, they're looking good to go to 6-2 on the year. And East River dropped to 1-6. We still have one more quarter to play, but the running clock will continue. 48-7 at the end of 3. And my new friend, Zane Garcia, is going to take over for the 4th as far as the play-by-play.
Well, you look at the rest of the schedule, JC. As mentioned earlier, it's Palm Beach Gardens and it's Viera that is left for Melbourne. They have a great opportunity to finish this year at least 7-3, potentially 8-2. And you look at the postseason, you're saying, hey, we're sitting pretty. We're going to at least probably be a high enough seed that we're going to host a playoff game. And in a Class 6A like they are, that's really what you need. You need home field advantage. You need the fans, the student section, the band to be here, everybody to really rally around you. So it's been a really good season so far for the Melbourne Bulldogs, and that's why in the Space Coast Daily rankings, if you go on spacecoastdaily.com, we have them pretty highly ranked. If you guys want to see what they're ranked, you got to go check it out yourself, but they're pretty highly ranked.
Okay, here's the kickoff by Martinez. Gets his left foot into it, kind of a pooch kick. Only goes about 40 yards. Taken by one of the up people. It's number 9 for East River. Not much of a return there. Didn't get much blocking. C.J. Allen, one of the up people in the kickoff with a modest return, and East River will take over. You know, it's interesting. Once the postseason comes, where are you going? Are you going to Orlando? Are you going maybe to Fort Myers? That's a long trip. And if you do really well, where do you usually go? Well, it's probably down to Miami.
Yeah.
There's those clubs in Miami, Washington and Norland, and some of the other ones are always good, and they usually host. So,
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be interesting this year. I mean, all around the county, there's playoff teams right now. Melbourne obviously is going to be a playoff team. Cocoa still has an opportunity to be a really high playoff team just based on their district. O'Galley, Merritt Island will be playoff teams. Titusville playoff team. Even Astronaut has the playoff hope still right now. So it'll be quite interesting. But you look at the past couple years, it's been Cocoa. They've been the definition of excellence in Brevard County football.
Yeah, from John Wilkinson to Ryan Schneider, they didn't lose a beat, did they? Because Wilkinson had, I think, 3 or 4 state titles, and now Schneider with 3 in a row.
Yeah, and I'll stop that topic for just a second. I believe we had a fumble on the play, and Melbourne recovered it. So it's going to be Melbourne Bulldog.
Boy, wow.
And really, their offense to defense combination tonight, JC, has been outstanding. So Melbourne will take over at the 33-yard line of the Falcons, and they're in position. I don't think that they're going to just, play it easy. They're going to go ahead and try to put some more touchdowns on the board. And really, they haven't even taken out Mr. C.J. Hall yet.
You just read my mind. When do you get to a point where you let players who don't play a lot in? I'm really surprised C.J. Hall's still in there. Who's the backup quarterback? I'm not sure. I think he should be in there pretty soon. All right, Hall, shotgun. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Run up the middle. It's going to go for about 3 or 4, run into a scrum right there. C.J. Hall trots over to the sideline to get the play call. But, yeah, I just to touch on that for a second, I agree. I think you put in some guys that don't have as much experience and let them get that valuable experience. But
especially with the running clock, because this game's could end probably pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. But to go back to what we were talking about, Coco's excellence, it's been defined by the past 3 state championships. But it's nice to see teams like O'Galley and Merritt Island, and even Melbourne, showing that they can compete around the county. So C.J. Hall will take the snap, and he's going to go long, and it is incomplete. Honestly, I'm really, really surprised you throw the ball right there.
Let's see, that was intended for Connor Gale.
I mean, obviously you want to, give some guys opportunity, but with this big of a lead, you're up 49-7. I'm not opposed to just giving it to Mr. 20, Tyrese Jefferson.
I'm kind of surprised he's still in because you don't want to get him hurt.
No, you don't.
Now he's lined up as a receiver, so we'll see what happens here.
Jefferson has a great game going for himself. So empty backfield. Hall is there himself. They're going to let that time just roll.
Yeah.
It's going to tick down to almost the 8-minute mark. 3rd and 7. It's going to be a handoff. Jefferson is going to bump it outside to the left, and he's got the outside, and he's going to run out of bounds after getting about 9, and that'll be a first down.
Can I guess that maybe he'll be on the track team? He is so fast.
He is fast, and it's his running style is interesting because he runs really upright. You don't see him really lowering his shoulders, or you don't see him kind of diving down, being a little bit lower like a running back is really kind of trained to be. His running style is upright, but I guess that makes for his ability to juke, because if really you get him in a one-on-one position, he's going to juke the mess out of you and pick up another 5-6 yards. Handoff right up the middle is going to go for about 7.
That was Kamarian Johnson, who's been a little quiet tonight. Hasn't gotten the ball as much. I mean, some weeks he'll get it a lot, but not tonight. But nice run there.
No, tonight it has been the Tyrese Jefferson show.
Yeah.
And he's been featured in the pass game as well, and that's one thing that you mentioned, JC. If you're a running back that wants to play at the next level, you're going to have to be able to catch the ball as well as block and run and do all these other things.
He's quite adept at being a receiver as well.
But now in nowadays sports, in NFL, college, high school, the running back is featured so much in the pass game. So shotgun snap goes to Hall. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson right up the middle again. He is stopped right about the line of scrimmage. It doesn't look like he got no more than maybe a half of a yard right there. But the time is still ticking. We're down to the 6-minute mark in this fourth quarter, and with Melbourne going to 6-2, and really, that's tied with the best record in Brevard County. They can have an argument that they're one of the best teams in Brevard County themselves. Now, we're used to seeing an O'Galley and Melbourne rivalry game each year. It's not happening this year, and a lot of people
they're not playing each other, are they?
They're not playing each other, and that's surprising. A lot of people would love to see that game. So, handoff Johnson, he's going to take it for about 7. It's going to be a first down at about the 9-yard line. So Melbourne trekking into inside the 10-yard line, looking to put another touchdown on the board. But mentioning that, JC, I know a lot of people, especially on both sides, are saying, hey, we're good, we should be playing each other.
Yeah. Hey, it saves on the expenses just to have local games, right?
Right. I mean,
occasionally you can go up to Orlando or to Tampa, but try and play locally because there are a lot of good teams. So you'll get good tests.
Absolutely. Now, it means a lot to O'Galley to play the Cocos, the Rockledges, the Merritt Islands. But, I mean, O'Galley, Melbourne, that's an old school rivalry right there. And
timeout Melbourne.
Both sides would love to see each other on the field. And really, as fans and as broadcasters ourselves, we would love to see that game. I mean, from what we've seen on the field tonight, Melbourne has a really nice squad. I've covered O'Galley quite a bit this year. They have a nice squad. Now, I will say, with Joseph Allen, quarterback for O'Galley, going down in that first game against Vero, their offense is limited. Now, they've had really Xavier Larice be the quarterback step-up guy.
Kind of a shotgun, wildcat kind of formation?
Yeah, he's been the guy to really step up. Now, can they throw the ball consistently with him? No, he's not a quarterback. He's more of an athlete.
He's definitely an athlete,
But he will throw the ball. You will see him throw the ball at times because you got to mix it up. You can't run the ball every single down, obviously. So there will be some mix-up from time to time, but
well, Merritt Island and O'Galley have to make up that game. It's a district game.
They do.
They probably don't have a common bye. They're probably going to play on a Monday night. And I think the players and the coaches do want to get that game in.
Yeah, they're going to have to play that game sooner or later.
All right, first down play.
And the shotgun snap goes. It's going to be, it's going to be fumbled, and it is recovered by Melbourne, luckily. It looked like that was a miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back right there. And when you run that read option, you do have to be careful because if you want to keep it as the quarterback, then you have to pull it. It's not just let the running back, swiftly take his hands off of it. No, you got to rip that ball away from the running back because I'll tell you right now, the running back's going to want to take the hand off every single time.
Other than some of the penalties on Melbourne, that was probably their sloppiest play of the night.
Yeah.
But you know what? They've been almost perfect otherwise. I mean, up 49-7 as we have a injured player on the field. It appears to be it is a Bulldog, and he's getting up, and that's C.J. Hall. You got to get him. I don't want to be critical of the coaches. You got to get him out of the game. He's too valuable.
That is something that we really, really just mentioned is you have 4:58 left in the game.
Yeah.
You don't need your starters to play anymore. You're up by 42 points.
All right, we're going to find out who the backup quarterback is. I'm not sure. So Jefferson's in the backfield, and
it looks like it's going to be Rogers.
Yeah, unless he's just lining up as a wildcat kind of guy. So you got Johnson and Rogers. So it could be either one, I guess.
Rogers is going to keep it. He's going to take it left side, and he's going to be tackled. No, he stays up.
There's a slippery bar of soap in the bathtub again. Man, these Melbourne players somehow getting away. So that was Rogers,
So now they're going to throw in, do you have a number or a name for number 10? It looks like they're throwing number 10 for the Melbourne Bulldogs in there at quarterback.
Will Reinhold.
Okay, Reinhold.
He is listed as a quarterback on the roster, so maybe he's the true backup.
Yep, he is their backup. He's lined up behind the center in the shotgun.
He's only a sophomore. You should get him some reps. He could be the quarterback of the future.
Yep. And he should have been in a while ago.
He tried to run. He'll get taken down. That might have been actual sack if it was behind the line.
Yeah, he's going to be sacked. That'll make it 4th down. And now this is actually a good moment to bring in your kicking unit because in moments like the postseason coming right up, there's going to be times.
Luis Martinez, 83.
There's going to be times in the postseason that you're going to rely on the kicking game. So important time right here to bring in the kicker and say, hey, let's see what you got. And they're at the 24-yard line.
Got a breeze blowing east to west, maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour. So kick it more to the right. Try and hook it a little, maybe. Just a touch, though.
Looking at about a 35-yard field goal right here, and it is up, and it is
short.
Just right.
Just short.
So short and a little right. That's going to be no good, but nonetheless, you did give your kicker an opportunity.
Yeah.
And East River will take over. There's 2:56 and ticking on the time. This game will be over just before we know it because of the running clock. But if you're East River, you're going to go out there and say, hey, let's just run the best plays that we got.
Yeah, sure. And, I mean, East River should send in some reserves, again, on their side.
Yep.
Get some players in who don't normally play. I mean, they're part of the team. They practice during the week. They're the ones that try and make your first team better.
Right.
So I'm not sure if we'll see many changes. I mean, is Edgecombe still out there, number 4?
He is.
Really?
Edgecombe is still in there at
I'm
quarterback.
Kind of surprised. And right beside him is Hancock. He's a starter, so they're all still in.
So time ticking. There's 2 minutes left in the ball game. Bad snap. It's thrown over a screen pass play. It is caught, and about a 6-yard gain. That was number 5, TJ Gross. We've called his name a few times tonight for the Falcons. But as the time ticks down, I think that also this is another good time, JC, for your offense to kind of run like a 2-minute offense, kind of practice that.
Sure.
If you don't have any timeouts, the time's going to be ticking, so you could practice doing those hurry-ups and doing those plays.
To the Melbourne High Band, they are celebrating tonight. Great job by them.
Yeah, I got to say, homecoming night, homecoming game, fans showed out. Edgecombe rolls out, and he's just going to chuck it out of bounds.
Boy, look out, almost hit one of the cheerleaders. Jeez. By the way, Miles Absney was the homecoming king, and oh boy, I can't read my own writing. A girl named Amaya was the homecoming queen. So congratulations to them. Oh, Amaya Ingram, homecoming queen. Miles Absney, homecoming king. Well, that's something you'll take away for your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Being a homecoming king and queen in high school. Yep. There's only one every year.
Only one.
Yeah.
So now ticking to 40 seconds left in this ball game. It's 3rd and 5. Edgecombe's going to roll out, and he's going to throw it, and it is going to be incomplete. That was intended for number 11, Liam White. That was number 10. That is Wyatt Johnson. That was the intended receiver. With 20 seconds left, this is the last play. I think they're going to
They're going to try and run this. I would just get off the field. You don't want to get somebody unnecessarily hurt.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that's going to do it, I think, 5 seconds ago.
Yep, that will do it.
Good.
And the final is going to be 49-7. Homecoming game victory for the Melbourne Bulldogs over the East River Falcons. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. JC, your thoughts on the game and really what Melbourne put on the field tonight?
Well, again, the only score for East River came in the first quarter. So it was a pretty good ball game, 14-7 at the end of the first. And then after that, 21 points, 14 points in the second half. All Melbourne once we started the second quarter. So good luck to East River. I hope they get things together. And for Melbourne High, again, one of the best teams in the county. They're now 6-2.
Yep.
They could be the real deal. So, high school football in Brevard County getting very good.
It is all around the county. We've seen plenty of talent. And as I mentioned during the middle of the game, there's been a lot of freshmen talent that have showed out.
Freshmen?
I've seen a lot of freshmen show out this year, and Tyrese Jefferson is another one. he's going to be one of those guys in a couple of years that you're going to be talking about, hey, some of the bigger D1 schools in the country are going to be recruiting this kid because of his running ability, running after the catch ability, shiftiness. He's got a little bit of everything. So a player to watch, definitely. I would say all around a great performance offensively and defensively for the Bulldogs.
The oxymoron with that is you don't want to promote too many freshmen because or you get a bunch of a JV team. I mean, really, I mean, JV players want to play, and I mean that. But if a freshman is really good, like Jefferson, I guess give him a shot at varsity. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you don't have no choice but to bring this young man up to varsity with the way that he was playing.
I mean, hopefully his body is right. I mean, when you're a freshman, you're still mostly kind of small.
Yeah,
and he's not terribly big, but yeah, a very talented player.
Well, once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. J.C. Meyerholt, Zane Garcia from Tom McIntyre Stadium, home of the Melbourne Bulldogs.
Hey, Zane, I hope we get to do another game together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm glad we got this together.
It was a great game.
Kind of on the fast break today with all the bad weather. We came here, and great to be with you.
Absolutely, and it is the Bulldogs who win their homecoming game over East River 49-7. Once again, thank you all for